Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week, in Dingess, West Virginia, a gruesome discovery uncovers the seriously violent and terrible murder of a woman, but the many suspects all have their fingers pointing in different directions. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. It's a special episode today, episode 250.
Oh, my.
It's a milestone.
It is.
So for milestone like this, we can only be in one place, and that is what's become really our go-to is West Virginia for the craziest stories. You can't ever find any stories that aren't insane in West Virginia.
They bring it.
I don't know what they're doing
go
there.
hard.
I don't know what's happening in West Virginia, but the stories are nuts, and this one is no exception. And as a special episode 250 treat, there will be a bonus story at the end of the story, too.
Great.
So we're going to get 2 crazy West Virginia stories in one, just to say thank you for hanging with us for 250 episodes. Before we get to that, first of all, your reviews help a lot. Thank you for those, whatever app you're on. Do that. It helps a lot. Patreon.com/crime and sports.
Yes.
This week, we've had the most fun with these 2 episodes this week. First of all, anybody $5 or above, you get access to all of it, all the bonuses that we do for crime and sports and small town murder. And they kind of go, if you like one, you'll like the other when it comes to these, because the bonus episodes are a different story. But this week's, oh my goodness, are they amazing. For crime and sports, we have Well, you want to hear about Flagship International Sports Television. Now, you've never heard of that network because it doesn't exist.
No.
It was a sting operation set up to catch many, many, many violent felons at the same time. And it's so ridiculous. Jimmy, you hear him giggling now? It's just an hour of Jimmy giggling, basically, and laughing. I'm a double winner. It's the funniest thing on earth. And then, not to be outdone, for Small Town Murder, we did the crappy real estate report, which is also incredible. So it's a banner week this week. Definitely get if you've been waiting for it, this is the week. Patreon.com/crime and sports.
And thank you for all the comments about it, too. Evidently, you guys like getting fisted. And I do, too, as well.
Yes, the Flagship International Sports Television episode got the most compliments I think we've ever gotten on any show, public, Patreon, anything. So it's crazy. In addition to that, you're going to get incredibly funny episodes, and you're going to get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmy's going to mispronounce your name, but
for sure,
he'll try to say it right. He's not trying to do it wrong.
I'm not an asshole.
So he's not. No, you are.
I am an asshole.
You are an asshole. We'll get to that in a second. So. That said, like we said, patreon.com/crime and sports, or if you just want to shout out, do it over at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. And my brain melted. That said, disclaimer time.
Yeah.
We're comedians.
We are.
This is a comedy podcast, as you've probably noticed from the last 250 episodes. There will be horrible murder because it's called Small Town Murder. So it would be weird if it was just like, well, here's a story, and I don't know. Have a good one, everybody.
Let me tell you about Johnny Appleseed.
There's got to be some murder. So we're going to, make fun of things. We have to. We're going to make fun of maybe a terrible place, a bad small town, maybe a bumbling police force. Yeah. Most likely, we're going to make fun of the murderer a lot. Sure. That's definitely going to happen. But what we do, and we go out of our way to do, is we do not make fun of the victims or the victim's family, for that matter.
Why, James?
Because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
That's the deal.
That's how it works. And if that sounds good to you, if you're an asshole but not a scumbag, welcome aboard.
There it is.
If not, if you think true crime and comedy never go together, well, sorry you feel that way. And I guess we should maybe part ways now or not. You might enjoy it. You might, because like I said, the comedy might not come from the places you think it will.
You looked great. Thanks for dressing up. Go on home.
There you go. Either way, it's straighten out that tie and have a good one. Either way, though, I think it's time now for us to sit back, clear the lungs, and shout, "Shut up
and give me murder!"
Let's do this, Jimmy.
I'd like it.
Let's go on a trip.
Tremendous. Let's go.
Coming from Moose Lake, Minnesota.
What a place.
That story was, that was a real, intense, deep story with multiple layers and years going back and these crazy convictions and people changing their names.
Right.
This story is all West Virginia that we have for you right here. We are going to Dingess, West Virginia.
Right there in the Dingess.
Right in the Dingess. Dingess.
That's exactly what it is.
Dingess. And I looked up how to say it. It's Dingess. It's not Dingess or some shit like that. It's Dingess, West Virginia, which is wild. It's in southwestern West Virginia. West Virginia looks like a chicken that's turned to about 2 o'clock. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's got the legs coming up. This town would be right in the butthole. This is right in the chicken dingus right here.
Right there in the Dingess.
Right there in the Dingess. It's in the middle of nowhere, this place.
Terrific.
I mean, it's 50 miles to nothing and 75 miles to up your ass.
You have to be a real dingus to land here.
And you do, because wait till you hear about it. Everybody's named Dingus in the town. It's so weird, man. There is some inbreeding happening in this
spelling?
area. Oh, yeah. No, it's the same people.
It's the family.
I got history on this.
Holy shit.
It's about an hour and 20 to Charleston, West Virginia, if you want to. I guess it's toward more civilization. An hour and 35 minutes to Huntington. And then 2.5 hours to Leyland, West Virginia, which was the last one was Gormania.
It was.
I'm sorry, I got it wrong there, Gormania. So it's a different thing there. Anyway, this is in Mingo County, which is named Bloody Mingo. Jesus. That's the nickname for it, because these people will find something to fight about no matter what, and they'll just start shooting each other.
Really?
It's absolutely insane what's happening in this place, or what's been happening for 150 years here. It's crazy. Area code 304. Motto of this town, and it probably shares it with a lot of towns in this kind of an area. It's just, quote, "Y'all ain't from around here, are you?" So this is the most heard word said.
Yeah, they skipped a motto altogether, huh?
Just that's what they get with a side eye.
Yeah.
History of this town. The community was named after William Anderson Dingess, a pioneer settler.
Old Billy Dingess.
Old Billy Dingess. That's right. It's Billy Andy Dingess. That's what they called him. As of 1894, they had 2 hotels, 8 boarding houses, 4 restaurants, 4 groceries, 4 sawmills. It's all 4s. It must have been a rule of some sort.
Rule of 4.
Rule of 4. And a school with 2 teachers and about 100 students. That's a bad ratio.
What's the difference between a boarding house and a hotel?
I think a boarding house is worse than a hotel.
It's like a hostel?
Yeah, I think a boarding house is like you get a room.
You got to earn your keep.
No, I think they just yell at you when you come in. They're like, hey, you dirtbag, keep your room nice. And then I think that's how it works.
Teaching you manners while you're there?
Yeah, I think that's how. Whereas a hotel, they go, hello, sir.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. I'm not sure, though.
They're grateful for your money where the other ones aren't.
The other ones are like, yeah, give me your dime and get the hell out of here. Go to your room, you dirtbag.
Treat me like a lady.
Fucking dirtbag. 133 coal miners lived in Dingess at that point. They're having a lot of kids. The community garnered a reputation for being completely lawless.
Really?
Of all this whole area it's still like this pretty much. It's insane. There's a book called "They'll Cut Off Your Project."
Is that what they call it?
I guess so. It's called Your Project in this area of the country. A guy wrote...
It's your special purpose, your project.
It's my special purpose. You haven't seen The Jerk? You're missing out on life, so you should see that. It said, quote, old-timers there said it was a common practice to have a killing once a month. Like just, well...
So that's how...
We're nearing the full moon. Who's going to get it this month? Like, is that a requirement?
Common practice. What if you don't have one this month?
It just doesn't happen.
You got to get your quota.
As Uncle Jim Markham described... Oh, boy. This is obviously, again, don't isolate it. Not me saying it. This is a black writer from back then. Quote, why a colored person couldn't think about riding through Dingess. They would stop the train, take him off, and shoot him, and nobody would say a word.
Whoa.
Why they would even stop the train and take all its cargo. It was a wild country then, and it ain't much better now.
That is staggering.
That is bonkers.
I mean, I guess you got to assume that happened, but to hear it verbally said
just like
is extra shitty.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. From 1970 to 1972, about 17 police and lawmen of any kind of different types were shot to death in this area, which stretches 15 miles along a creek.
They're killing the police, too.
There's nobody there.
Right.
This isn't like, a major metropolitan city where there's 5 million people and a cop gets killed once in a while. There's like 12 people there. Like,
and they hate the cops.
There's no law. They don't want it. It's nuts here. This is the type of place, like if you've seen the old Mountain Dew logo where there's like a mountain man shooting at a census agent from, that's like what's going on here. It's
West Virginia MC Ren there.
Yeah, it's true. The other town we're going to talk about later, well, for like 2 seconds, we'll get into the murder all the way at the end of the show. That town never participated in a census ever.
What?
People, they're afraid to go up to the doors. They'll get shot. So they just don't even bother. Just like, I'm sure there's some people there, but who cares?
There's a few.
Yeah, so then they don't get any representation either. So, I mean, that's what happens if you don't let people come onto your property.
Fascinating.
So, in 1901, robbers raided the community. The whole community. We're going to rob the town of Dingess.
Loot Dingess.
Yep. They dynamited a large safe.
Wow.
According to the November 23rd, 1901 edition of the Bluefield Daily Telegraph, quote, citizens were on the scene almost immediately after the heavy report, and the burglars hadn't had time to gather up their booty as a number of citizens opened fire and probably 40 shots were exchanged. This place is Dodge City, but without anybody reporting on it, pretty much. It's just, bedlam. The burglars secured a bunch of jewelry and escaped on a handcar, which was later recovered about 4 miles from Dingess, and there was blood spots all over it. So they'd been shot, too. It's pretty wild here. Tons of murders here, and the isolation is basically just, this has been a magnet for train hijackers and thieves, and it's like if you've watched Deadwood, like the path to Deadwood, that's what this is.
Incredible.
They're just waiting. There's a tunnel, there. It's, quote, widely known for a mile-long tunnel situated on a country road south of town. It's a 3,327-foot tunnel. It's a pretty long tunnel.
That's half a mile.
That's not a mile. Yeah. They said approximately a mile long. That's not even
just
close to a mile. Yeah, that's nowhere near it. It's originally built by Italian immigrants, okay? This is what they did. They brought these people in. If you've known our show from the past, that, you know, pockets full of pasta. Yeah. They're going here. The tunnel, it opened for rail traffic in 1892, and it's been open to one-lane vehicular traffic since the mid-1900s. So you can go one way, just hope no one else is coming for half a mile. But it's so isolated, probably no one else is coming for half a mile.
How do you, I guess, pull over if somebody does?
There's nowhere to pull over. It's one lane. Someone has, whoever's farther in the tunnel, the other person stops and backs out.
That's a great point. Where do you go?
Nowhere. You back up.
Oh, my God.
The railroads brought in Chinese immigrants here to construct part of the tunnel for the railroad. And there was opportunities for jobs here. And it became a busy place at this time. There's a lot of trains coming through and all that sort of thing. But the locals did not like the influx of what they called, quote, foreign people. Yeah. These are the Chinese and the Italians. Sure. They're not liking these people at all here. So they...
Too many goddamn noodles.
All these damn noodles of every type. I can't take it. According to the stories, roving bands of angry locals would wait at the entrance and exit to the tunnel with guns, and they would pick off anyone that fit their target description.
Holy shit.
Pick them off. There's no official records of how many, because then they just roll them into the creek and that was that.
Oh, my.
Nobody cared, but there's estimations that they killed hundreds of people, just poor people that were working.
Wow.
Just because they felt like it that day. Stories also of masked men that would stop the trains, like I said, and take passengers off in the middle of the night and murder them. It was fucking crazy. Just whoever they didn't like, they would just, well, you're not coming through our town, and they'd shoot them.
This place is unbelievable.
It's crazy. Also, they had the tunnel experienced a lot of things. In 1898, there was a fatal train wreck that killed 7 people.
Sure.
1905 happened again.
Don't change anything. Just keep doing it.
Listen to this. How does this happen? I always wondered how there's got to be like an air traffic control here for railroads. A head-on collision happened on a track.
Yeah.
That seems like it can be avoided, right?
Pretty easily.
You'd think that just by scheduling it could be avoided.
One-way traffic? I don't know. There's a lot of ways that could be
That's
fixed.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Just switches that they have. Yeah. Head-on collision between a fully loaded freight train.
Oh my God, that's heavy.
And a work train with people on it. Echoed, exploded here. 3 people died.
Yeah.
And but there's been tons killed in this tunnel. This tunnel has just been death central.
Unbelievable.
In Mingo County, also in 2016, modern day Mingo,
right.
It was called, quote, one of the places in America most touched by opioids. So. Not even kidding. This place is full of inbred junkies.
Inbred heroin addicts.
Inbred addicts is what this is. Which, I mean, people get hooked on shit. But this is a special. This is, if you've seen The Whites of West Virginia, we're talking about this. This is where they shake the pill bottle and go, that's the Boone County mating call.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
Recessive genes drugged up is not good.
No, that's bad. This is, I'll show you the pictures, Jimmy. Yeah. Check this out. Turn the screen. This is the, roll your chair, Dingess Post Office. Look at it.
Oh, it's huge. It's a fucking hut. What is that?
One of the few remaining structures from the boom period is this house, which is like tilted back. Yeah. It's all fucked up.
It looks like the boom period, they mean like that robbery with all the dynamite.
That's boom. It's the kaboom. This is from the kaboom period, not the boom period.
That's why it's leaning.
Yeah. Back in the kaboom period. You mean the boom period?
No.
I mean the kaboom period when shit was blowing up.
You can hear it 7 hollers over.
So reviews of this town. Yeah. There are plenty, which is funny. Here they are. Here's 5 stars.
Great.
Love it.
Yeah.
Quote, beautiful nature and trail riding, friendly folks.
All right.
I love living the simple life. Good cooking as well.
Okay.
Burgoo, as we know from this area. So that is just crazy. West Virginia is pretty. I will say that. Nature.
Oh, there's views.
There is. Like if you drive through, you go, wow, that's beautiful out there.
Even the White's backyard is impressive.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But you're like, don't slow down. Don't slow down. What are you doing? Here's 4 stars. Mingo County has always been my home. Well, that's unfortunate. This little small town may not seem like it can leave a big impact on you, but it can.
Oh,
I bet it can.
Yeah.
I'm betting it can.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody, and no one's a stranger. That sounds terrible. When you come here, you learn about our history, how we do things around here, and how much fun it can be.
Oh,
This
boy.
sounds coded as shit,
Yeah.
doesn't it? This is scary.
Whoever wrote this is a dangerous person.
Yeah, the only downfall to this small town is how it's treated. Not many people know about this little town and all the great opportunities it holds. Don't use the word opportunity when you're talking about, we'll talk about the town. It's not.
Also, everybody's learning very much about you right now.
A lot. Yes, they're hearing plenty.
We're probably going to double how many people know about Dingess.
We're going to at least double. We're going to way more than double it. I'll tell you that much right now. My wish for this place is to be livelier with people coming in to come to a home away from home. So you want tourism to go to Dingess? Well, traditionally, when you shoot people who come there,
Yeah.
they're not going to come.
When you talk about your town and say the phrase, how we do things around here, that's not positive.
You're going to find out about our history and how we do things around here.
That's
that sounds like
horrifying. The short history I've learned is that's not safe.
Sounds like a threat.
That's not welcoming.
No.
Yeah,
Sounds very threatening.
how we do things
How
around
we
here.
do things. Here's 3 stars. The crime and safety in this area is okay. If you feel safe in the area because there are no gangs or anything like that, there's not enough people for there to be gangs. You need to have multiple people.
Yeah, it's not plural, but there's certainly a gang.
There's got to be something. The police are around, and there aren't many crimes other than drunk driving and not wearing your seatbelt. Well, we'll be the judge of that.
Hope they're doing it at the same time.
Yeah, no shit. 3 stars. The local businesses consist of gas stations and convenience stores mainly. We need more variety. All the shops that are around do not have a wide variety or very low prices. You do better shopping online rather than going out to find something around here. Now, here's 1 star. Not happy. The employment is almost zero. All we have for people to make something of themselves is the coal mines, and they're all about to suffer due to the carbon tax. This was from 2014.
That's recent.
So that was, yeah.
There is zero
Zero employment. Weird.
Yeah.
People in this town, 1,196.
That is tiny.
It's tiny. Down 38% since 2000.
It's dying. It's
too.
in trouble.
A few more males than females, which it's coal mining jobs, so you're going to get that. Median age is just about the same. It's about 38 and a half. A lot of 65 to 74-year-olds, but then nobody older than that because they've died from the coal dust,
Black
apparently.
lung, yeah.
Also, there's a ton of babies here.
Really?
as well. Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're
that's all
hopped
there is
up,
to
it's
do.
hard to
Yeah.
remember to put the condom on. It
Yeah.
just doesn't work very well. You're like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'll just put it in you. Married population's high, 64%.
Okay.
It's just very high, normally 50-50. And there is more single with no children people, too, here, which is a strange stat. They usually don't get those stats corresponding, but here they are. Race of this town, pretty easy, 100% white.
Is that
No shit.
Is that the only?
100%.
Have we
that's
ever
it.
done that?
I don't know if we might have done that with a town of like 70,
Right.
But not of 1,200. That's very on purpose.
100.
Yeah, 100%. That's crazy. 28% of the people here are religious.
That's
No
interesting.
God in the mines. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that right now.
Godless sons of bitches.
Ain't no God down in the hole. I've heard guys say that
Yeah.
too. There's no God down there, motherfucker. It's scary. 11% Baptists, 1% Catholic, and I'm sure they're hiding it.
I bet you.
They're probably, that's probably not a safe thing to be there. Some Pentecostals here and there. 0.0% Jewish,
Not
as
a
if I
lot.
even needed to tell you that. Unemployment rate here is high,
All right.
like pretty high. It's almost 10% now. It's not doing well. 23% of the people here make under $15,000 a year.
Wow.
The median household income, rest of the country, it's $57,000 and a half.
Yeah.
Here it's $28,949 for a household.
Oh my God.
Very few high incomes too.
sure,
It's
yeah.
all very low. Cost of living here is pretty low. It's a 75 out of 100. Housing is as low as we've ever had it, 26.6 out of 100.
Holy.
Median home cost $61,500. It's $291 in the rest of the country.
I cannot wait to see these.
Well, you know what? You're going to hear about them right now and see them because we have for you the Dingess, West Virginia Real Estate Report. Okay, two-bedroom rental, which I don't even know if that exists, some old reform boarding house or something, right. $700, which is very low. Yeah. Here's the first house. Yeah. Look at this. Again, is that's straight?
That's not a house. That's not level.
Yeah.
Back. The ground. Yeah.
The ground.
It's reclined like an airplane seat.
Yeah, when you pull coal out of the ground for like a couple, for like 100 years or so,
things settle.
It starts to settle and the house is tilt. So that's what happens here.
The porch is up off the ground, but the house is in the ground.
I don't know what to make of this.
What is that?
3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,520 square feet. Uh-huh. So that's something. There's no pictures of the inside, which means it's good.
That's a problem.
It's on a 6-acre lot.
Nice.
Which is nice. $59,000
for 6 acres and a
2,500 square foot house
and an airplane reclined seat, which is like 13 degrees. It's not enough. It's not enough to fall asleep.
No,
just enough to make you feel like you're reclined.
Nice to watch TV. Yeah. Here you go, Jimmy. Look at this.
What is that?
It's a shack is what it looks like.
Is that a
3-bedroom, I think, with spaces in it.
Yeah.
You're going to feel the breeze in there.
Oh, yeah.
3-bedroom, 1-bath, 900 square feet, 77.7 acres, though.
Holy shit.
Of the woods and things in there that you don't want to know about.
Yeah.
$189,000 for that.
For almost 100 acres.
Almost 100 acres. A ton. With a shack on it. So then that's in Ranger, West Virginia, nearby. Okay. Then I found, and this is the one here, 5-bedroom, 2-bath, 3,000 square foot house.
Oh, yeah.
An absolute disaster.
3,000 square feet of fucked
Redo. There's garbage in it. The floors
are. Do it again.
Do it over, buddy. I'll tell you what. This is start from the ground up.
5 bedrooms of take 2.
Who's got some gasoline? Is there a match around? It's one of these houses. It's on a half acre.
Yeah.
$100,000.
Okay.
So there's that. I'm sure everyone is clamoring.
Not
for
even a
those right
picture
now.
of it.
No.
What the fuck? They don't want to tell us.
No. I saw pictures of it. It is terrible, though. Things to do here.
5 bedrooms of whoops-a-daisy.
Whoops. Oh, messed that one up. Things to do.
Yeah.
The West Virginia Freedom Festival.
Oh, no.
Freedom to shoot people as they come out of a tunnel is what it makes me think of in West Virginia. This is in Logan, which is nearby. It's from the July 1st to 4th. So the freedom thing, it's Independence Day. That makes sense.
Yeah.
They have a kayak raffle, which I don't know what that is.
It has a Marlboro logo on it, but listen.
Something. Yeah, it's from Miles from the 90s. They have a celebrity dunking booth. Who are the celebrities?
Yeah.
Let's be realistic here.
Do they got the whites?
They have maybe Mamie White comes by, and they also have hosted by DJ Bill France. I don't know who he is.
Spinning all the classics of Waylon Jennings.
It's just spinning them all over. We're going to start back at the beginning of the catalog now. They're having a block party blowout that night. Carrie McQueen Stilt Walker will be performing July 2nd through the 4th. I shit you not.
What do you do on stilts?
July 2nd through the 4th, Greg M. Thompson, quote, strolling entertainer will be there. I guess he just walks around doing shit. And then a band takes the stage, Hair Supply. Not Air Supply, Hair Supply.
They're mixing hair metal with air supply shit?
Yeah. Okay. I guess like a big hair. Double Vision, the Foreigner Experience Live.
Yeah.
Foreigner cover band. Then finally, July 4th, Departure, the Journey Tribute Band is going to headline them. Look at these guys.
Departure.
Look at them. His hair is having a departure.
I am wearing a Journey T-shirt as we do this.
That's hilarious. Well, so is he. I think you have the same T-shirt on as the guy with no hair.
I think it's the same
one. He's got tails and a coat.
What's another word for a journey? I don't know. I guess departure.
Is the strolling entertainer in this? He likes to journey.
Departure.
Fuck me. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, of course, is about half the national average for property crime. Okay. So people are so far away, and they're all pointing guns at each other, so there's really not a lot of opportunity to steal anything. Men, violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about 25% under the national average.
Is that right?
But also, how much do you think is reported?
Right.
So that's what we're talking about.
We've already discussed that.
Yeah, I don't think a lot are reported, so that's the problem. That said,
count it up as chalking it up to a loss.
That's it. Whoops, I guess it's a loss.
I'll write that off.
Oh, well. Now, that said, let's talk about a murder that was reported here. Let's go back. We're not even going to go back that far.
No.
We've been in the 70s. We're going to go into the 2000s this time.
Oh.
September of 2002.
Uh-huh.
So not that long ago. And this story, when you hear about it, it definitely sounds like it took place like in the 50s.
Yeah.
And it's from 2002. So whenever you're thinking about things, just think, these people have cell phones.
Yeah.
These people they can text.
Right.
These cell phones have cameras on them. Like,
yeah.
flip phone with a camera at this point.
This is post 9/11.
Yeah, this is. Think about that.
Yeah.
Just know that that's happening right now when you hear the story and go, where are we? Where are we? Now, a horrific discovery is found this day in September of 2002. It is the naked body of a woman.
Oh, fuck.
Found in a clearly on purpose purposefully dug shallow grave, very shallow, basically just covered with some leaves and twigs and stuff. Not even really that much of an effort. There is a shoestring around her neck that is also connected to her hands, found behind her back,
like a hog tie.
Yeah, like so if she moves,
with the neck in the hands rather than the feet in the hands.
Yeah, it's horrible. Well, you'll find out why. It's absolutely terrible. She is bloody, bruised. I mean, battered. Looks like she's been killed 3 different ways.
Shit.
It's horrific. She's covered with sticks and twigs. She's missing an ear.
Oh, man.
An ear has been taken off somehow, and it looks like roughly. Doesn't look like it's
it's like torn rather than
torn
cut?
or cut with not a sharp knife
Oh,
or something
Christ.
of that matter. It looks brutal.
Yeah.
And she is naked with the exception of a pair of socks that she's wearing. So this is horrific for obviously anybody to discover.
Absolutely
this. It's one of every person involved in this case, judges, lawyers, everybody say this is the worst I've ever in this area is the worst I've ever seen somebody be horrified and be, just
humiliated and brutalized.
Not even, the just dehumanization here is horrible. It's just a bad deal. The medical examiner determines the cause of death to be multiple things.
Yeah.
They literally can't decide which one. Multiple blunt force injuries to the head, torso and back as well, ligature strangulation, and also drowning.
God damn it.
She's not found in a body of water, mind you. This is found in a shallow grave. So
you put her in water to take her out to put her in this?
How many different ways? And also, they were trying to figure out who she was because she was beaten so badly.
Right.
And then finally, pretty close nearby, a couple miles away, they found a burned out car and connected that
pretty easy
to who this is. And they said, that's probably who we're looking for. Is that she's also, they went, and, have you seen her lately? No? Well, that's probably who we're looking for here. We'll find out who she is. Nearby as well, police find, later on, as we'll talk about, they find a 2x4, which appears to be one of the murder weapons with many nails sticking out of it.
No, man.
That's what it was. That's the main, and that wasn't enough though. We also needed to strangle and drown as well. Also, she's been horribly sexually assaulted as well.
Obviously.
This is in a remote area in the woods, out in a place where you definitely have to know where you're going to get there, type of deal. You know what I'm saying?
How horrible of a way to hurt somebody that
it's
the sexual assault is just an aggravator here. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
this is just like that's
fucking horrible.
God.
Well, that's how horrible she was brutalized.
Yeah.
It's you don't want to triage.
Terrible event in the first place.
Oh, the worst, as you know.
Right.
You don't want to triage things when it comes to that. But I mean, this is horrific.
This is just
this is just as much as you could try to hurt a human being and destroy a human being is what they did here. Now, shortly after this body is discovered, there are some rumors flying around the old town of Dingess.
Yeah.
And Mingo County in general.
The Dingess is swinging.
Well, the West Virginia State Police, the state police get involved. Local police here, they don't even want them involved for good reason.
They will fuck this up, or they know, and there's too much.
Or who knows? Yeah, the state police probably, when they hear about a murder, they know we take over the murders in these, lawless shitholes if we actually want to get them solved. Otherwise, it'll be somebody's cousin and brother who swept this under the rug. Well, they receive information from several different people. So lots of information that all comes back to the same person. And that person, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Alfred Dingess Jr.
Of course it is.
I swear on this is what I mean. I swear to God, this man's name is Alfred Dingess Jr., just like the town.
Unbelievable.
He is a descendant of the Dingesses. He is. He's
the junior Dingess.
Yeah. What was the name of the neighbors in the Christmas Story? Were they the Dingesses?
Oh, man. The one with Ralphie?
Yeah, with the dogs that eat the fucking turkey.
The only character I know in that movie is Ralphie.
Bumpuses? They were the Bumpuses, I think, not the Dingesses. Okay. But same type of people.
Samuel L. Jackson made a man, quote unquote, suck my big black dingus in Hateful Eight.
Yeah. There you go. So Alfred Dingess Jr. They talk to Alfred Dingess Jr., and the state troopers take a statement from him.
Yeah.
And they say, well, we have a lot of rumors around Dingestown.
A lot of confusion around Dingess.
Right. The rumors abound around Dingestown that you have some say in this. You know something about this. You were around this person when she was murdered. And he went, yeah. I was there.
Boy.
Yeah, I know.
I was there.
Oh, I know lots of stuff. Yeah,
boy.
Yeah, I was involved in, I was involved. Well, what were you involved in? We had to kidnap her first, and then,
boy.
Of course, there's, the raping,
yeah.
And then, of course, the killing. So, I was involved in all of it, obviously. I mean, she can't be involved in one and not the other. That would be,
Now you know. Now I get back to work.
Yeah, you don't salt the meat and then put it on the fire and then don't take it off. They're all together. You know what I mean? Guys have... That's kind of how he said it, just matter-of-factly.
Just, I did it. I was there. Gotta go.
Well, the problem is, and why they got him to admit it, is because they found a cigarette butt that had his DNA on it. And they went, well, we found a cigarette butt with your DNA, right around her, so what do you think here? And he went, yeah, I did it. Why not?
It's 2002, sir. We got technology and shit.
Wasn't alone, though.
No.
There's other people with me.
Okay.
Matter of fact, my friend Aaron Nelson was with me, so you might want to talk to him. Oh, by the way, he got blood from her all over his shirt, so there's that. You can get on him and talk to Aaron Nelson.
Get in the car.
Now, 14 months after that.
What?
Okay. 14 months go by.
Yeah.
So this is like the next month we get Dingess, and then 14 months later, so we're about 15 months out from the murder, there's more information that the police receive, not from Alfred Dingess.
Is Dingess arrested?
Dingess is in jail, yeah.
Okay,
he's awaiting... They don't get tried until about 2-3 years later. It's like 2004, 2005.
What the fuck is happening?
There's a lot going on, Jimmy. It's just a lot. They're very busy.
Gotta put pen to paper and write all this shit down.
Takes time. I need a new ribbon for my typewriter.
We ran out of whiteout.
I ordered more from Civilization. We'll wait till it comes.
When it gets here, we'll fix all this paperwork and do it right.
It's this is what I mean when I say we make fun of things like the town, because if your town is
crazy
doing this, it's asinine.
If this happened in New York City, there would be people rioting in the streets. He said he did it. Can we get this going?
Can we at least try? Can we try? Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report. 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, it's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your
all different.
Multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure, yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. And the other guy, too, Aaron Nelson, he's arrested. So 14 months later, police received more information that they weren't the only two there.
Okay.
Not from Dingess or Aaron Nelson, just from the other grapevine.
Just because everybody knows.
Because everyone knows about it, because it's a small town. And, oh, by the way, all these people are related. Wow. As we'll talk about. There's 3 brothers and 2 cousins involved in this whole
Nelson's
mess.
A dingus.
Nelson's not a dingus. Okay. But this next guy, Zandel Bryant, is a dingus. Zandel Bryant's a dingus.
So fun to say.
It is the most fun.
It really is.
I'm like, there's no way that this town's name is pronounced Dingess. Oh, well, I guess it is. And then I see the main perpetrator's name is Alfred Dingess Jr., and I was like, well, we're doing this case no matter what.
And everybody that's not a dingus, still a dingus.
Still a dingus. That's the way it is. So Zandel Bryant, they talk to him, and he says, yeah, I did. I was involved. Absolutely right. People just admitting freely to shit.
I mean, if you got the information, if you're going to help, listen, somebody asks you a question, you tell them.
Why not?
We're honest around here.
So they said, we've heard all this, and Zandel said, well, that's because you're right.
Yeah.
And then he gives a statement. He implicates himself, and he goes, oh, by the way.
Oh, God.
There was Alfred Dingess and Aaron Nelson, and I had 2 people with me, too. There was David Nelson as well, Aaron's brother, and then Aaron's other brother, Clinty.
Why?
Clinty.
It's never been a name.
And his name in court documents is Clinty.
They really named him that.
Clinty. If you do a like a background search and I find old shit that he did, it's listed as Clinty as his legal name.
That's far too close.
People named their kid Clinty with a Y. What the no. That's not a Y name.
Yeah. too close to the British version.
Well, yeah. You can't.
No.
You can't.
You got to really go hard on the N.
You can't E a Clint. You can't. There's no Eing a Clint.
Can't do that. And then when you do, you have to go way hard on the N. Otherwise, you're calling the man the female genitals.
Yeah. What's happening there? Clinton Nelson? Sounds like a country singer somehow. I don't know why, but it does.
Sounds like he goes real hard on the steel guitar.
Yeah, it really does. It's difficult here. So they go back to Alfred Dingess.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, Dingess, I thought you said it was you and Aaron Nelson.
Yeah.
Now we got word. Not only we got Zandel Bryant, your dipshit cousin, another Dingess,
right?
But we got two more dipshit Nelsons, too. We got a David and then a Clinty. That's a name?
What about Clinty Nelson playing the soundtrack to your murder affair? What happened out there?
I wonder if he's playing the Freedom Festival this year. So... they go, what gives there, Dingess? And he went, oh, yeah, they were there, too.
Y'all didn't ask.
You said, who was with you? And I said, well, that's who technically came. They came separate. And that's exactly what it was.
They carpooled.
Those three came separate. So you said who was with me. They were with me. You didn't say who was. That's what they're. Wow.
You didn't say who all was there. You said who came with me there.
You said who was there. You didn't say who all was there. Right. That's the thing. You want to know everybody.
You left out that all.
You left out it's like when you work in a kitchen, you don't say how many steaks, you got to say all day, you know, and then they know how many, you got to know how many total is what I'm looking for. Not. So anyway.
You got to be real damn specific with your questions, you get what you ask for.
I'll tell you what, mister, why don't you sit and think about it for a little while and then come back to me when you understand what the hell you're looking for.
Because I speak in hillbilly riddles and you speak in some other shit.
That's right. You speak in lowlands, some kind of jibber jabber. I'm doing hillbilly riddles. It's a tradition.
Yeah.
So Dingess and Bryant here, everybody says yes, they all raped this woman and participated in killing her and then did more, as we'll talk about. And the woman's name is Wanda Lesher. Wanda L. Lesher. She's 44 years old. Yeah. She has children.
Of course she does.
She's
in her 40s.
Yeah, she's hanging out. It's just, we'll talk about how it happened. But before we talk about exactly what happened that night, we have to talk about a quick, brief history of this Dingess family. Extremely brief because it's like one thing, but it's from October of 1889. This was a national story that I found in nationwide newspapers. It's like an AP article back then before there was an AP.
In the 1800s.
In the 1800s, 1889.
Okay.
And it says, quote, crime's red revelry, another bloody feud between Southern families, killing each other off. Another stage, there's just talking about stage robbery, but this is from West Virginia.
Yeah.
Quote, a bloody feud is raging in Lincoln County between the Broomfield and Hall families. Floyd Dingess, a son of the Justice of the Peace and a prominent man because his father discovered it. That's how far they fall. And they were prominent people, Justice of the Peace, discoverer of the town, name it after him, to now they've gone to
hillbilly
riddle trash.
Yeah, hillbilly riddle trash that rapes and murders a woman. As a team. They require several.
There was a team rape happening.
Awful.
It was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So Floyd Dingess here, a prominent man, married one of the Hall girls from the Hall family, obviously. He quarreled with his wife, and they separated at some point. And the next day, Dingess and his wife's brother met. That's the quote here. Dingess was shot dead.
Yeah. They did not meet. They they met in public. We'll sort this out together.
It gets more West Virginia. Alfred Broomfield married Dingess's sister. He swore to be avenged on Hall and fatally wounded one of the Hall brothers. It's like a Hatfield McCoy situation.
You killed my Dingess. I'm going to get you.
You shot off my Dingess. 10 days ago, Broomfield and his wife were waylaid, and Mrs. Broomfield was shot dead.
Wow.
Broomfield was terribly wounded. 2 days later, Purvis Broomfield was shot. On Saturday, George Dingess, a brother of Broomfield's wife, was shot through the leg in a fight with one of the opposing party.
All because a couple needed a divorce.
What the fuck is that? This is Dingess. This is how the Dingesses settle things. What? You don't like my sister? Well, I'll kill your whole goddamn family. I'm obviously, Jesus Christ, amicable separation, my ass. I'll kill everybody. You gotta
wipe out every dingus I see.
Nieces,
I
nephews.
see a dingus. It's dead.
It's dead. It's going full tombstone. So this is the history of, this is the type of people we're dealing with. And this was when they were prominent people.
Yeah.
Now they're the whites.
This is when they were classy.
Yeah. And they were considered respectable.
Yeah, when they had manners and shit.
So let's catch up with Alfred Dingess. Alfred Dingess Jr. at 28, descendant of the Dingess clan here. We'll catch up with him on August 31st, 2002. He's 28 years old at this moment. Now, he's got a little bit of his family history here. I found an article from 1974 where his father is Alfred Dingess, obviously. Senior.
Big dingus.
Big Dingess. Yeah, it's Big Daddy Dingess is what they call him.
Big dingus and little dingus.
Big Daddy Dingess and Little Danglin' Dingus is what they call him. Now, Sammy Dingess is Alfred Jr.'s little brother. Yeah. So he's his little dingus brother.
Sammy Dingus
Come
Jr.
here, you little dingus. Sammy Dingus Jr. That's my favorite thing ever. I wish his father's name was Sammy. If his name was Sammy Dingus Jr., you'd almost have to pluck his eye out and put a glass one in just because it's so perfect. Like, he's Sammy Dingus Jr.
Oh, he would have shot it out, James.
Yes. It's too good. We'll put you out front of a truck stop with a sign and say, Sammy Dingus. Someone's going to throw a buck in your fucking hat. I'm just telling you that right now.
Just a white trash West Virginia kid with one eye. Shuffling around.
Rolly-eyed little shit.
Shuffling around at the Flying J.
Prove your dingus. Prove your dingus background.
In overalls with one strap. I want it so bad.
Just dancing. On a jug. While his dad's.
Oh my God! And he spits his tobacco on the last note. Ding.
And if people like it, they throw coal at him. And that's a compliment.
And that's how they get through the winter.
Now, I'm glad we got all that laughing over it out of the way, because Sammy Dingus is the infant son of Alfred Dingess Sr., and he dies.
Oh, no!
In 1974.
Trying to remove his eye.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Poor little bastard.
Well, there must have been a problem, because he died, and then the next day, his twin sister, Tammy Dingus, died as well. God. So they had twins. They both died. I don't know if they were premature or if there was medical who knows what happened. So either way, they didn't make it.
That's depressing.
Yes, but Alfred Jr., though, he's still there. He's also got a sister, Deborah Lynn.
Yeah.
Deborah Lynn Dingus. Debbie Dingus is her name. Come on, man.
This place is great.
I'm going to try to be, you know what I mean? We're going to try.
Yeah.
We do. We try to be nice to these places but this is ridiculous. They named their kid Debbie Dingus. If you name your kid Debbie Dingus, I can't help you.
I
can't help you
anymore.
At that point.
No.
If you're standing on stage doing stand-up, either one of us, if we're standing there and you go, "What's your name?" to someone in the crowd, and
she
they
blurts
say,
out both her last first
Debbie Dingus, I'm going to go, "Get the fuck out of here. Your name isn't Debbie." And the whole crowd's going to laugh.
Yeah, everybody's going to lose their mind. Mm-hmm. Your parents did what to you?
Holy shit. Oh, my God.
And poor little Sammy robbed us of a Sammy Dingus Jr.
Yeah, we don't get a Sammy Dingus Jr.
by dying as an infant.
That would have been...
Damn it.
So...
That would have been amazing.
It could have been incredible, but it'll never happen. It might happen someday.
Who knows?
We don't know. Someone might be named after him. Also living in the house are the mother's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Sherman Workman, and Mr. and Mrs. William Dingus, Billy Dingus. of Dingess.
Sure.
So in the house, both sets of grandparents,
Fuck.
kids, dead kids, the whole thing's Dingess is everywhere.
This is a busy Dingess house.
It's full of Dingess. This house is the problem. It's just full of Dingess, and so in 1994, I found old Alfred Dingess Jr. got in some trouble, and the headline of this AP article is, quote, 2 suspects take joyride in cruiser.
Okay.
And that's they were suspects who then took a joyride. Let's find out how.
That's a fascinating way to say 2 men steal police vehicle.
2 men who were in custody stole a police vehicle.
That's not a joyride.
That's not a joyride. That is an escape.
That's a felony.
Quote, 2 suspected thieves handcuffed in the back of a state police cruiser slipped their handcuffed arms under their legs and made off with the vehicle. Just drove away with it. I don't know. Don't be a dingus and make sure that they're secured back there. What are you doing?
Lock up your dingus.
Lock up your dingus, man. This is Alfred Dingess Jr., 23, and Carlos Tomlin, 22, both of Dingess, were rearrested early Wednesday in Logan County after 2 troopers commandeered a passing pickup truck and chased them down. My God, you're just asking for abuse, Dingustown. You're just asking for it. They had to. Have you ever? Okay, in a movie, you see someone try to commandeer a vehicle. Have you ever once heard of that?
No.
In the real world,
no.
They had to I need your pickup.
Yeah,
y'all get in the back. I'm driving.
I always wanted to say this. Official police business.
Wow, and chase them down.
Unbelievable.
In a commandeered pickup truck.
Even in the movies, they don't catch them. You know what I mean? When they take somebody's car, they always crash the person's car.
No, it doesn't work.
And the guy gets away.
And the guy's like, "Oh, my wife's gonna kill me." And, that's the shit line. So Dingess and Tomlin were first arrested after they were caught by a Hearts Creek resident who believed the men were trying to steal a stereo from his car.
Wow,
fucking Dingess. So let's talk about Wanda Lesher. Wanda Lesher, I think I said she was 44. I apologize. She was 41.
Okay.
Now, Wanda Lesher, on August 31st, the last time anybody saw her, she went out to a local bar to drink. Yeah. Just hanging out and, partying out.
That's what you do.
That's what you do. So there she met a couple of people. Now, there is a rumor, and we don't know if it's true, that Aaron Nelson is her ex-boyfriend. Okay. But Aaron Nelson denies it, but Dingess says it's a fact.
Okay.
So we got 2 people that are together and I say if one guy says that's your ex-girlfriend, it's probably your ex-girlfriend. Yeah. Just because you want to deny it, that doesn't mean that's not true. So
just because you're not, I don't know, for whatever reason, you're not as
happy about the decision or whatever. So also, Wanda Lesher's at the bar. So is Aaron Nelson that night. They're hanging out. Everybody's hanging out. It is Aaron Nelson, Wanda Lesher, Alfred Dingess Jr., and a guy named Doug Sparks. Okay. They're all hanging out at the bar. Now, Sparks said they were drinking and talking. Everybody was, doing their thing. I'm sure, snorting crushed up pills off the back of a fucking public restroom or whatever they're doing.
Nothing you would do at the Four Seasons.
Shirtless slot machine playing. Right. Whatever they did in that bar in the wonderful Whites of West Virginia is what's happening in this bar. Definitely shirtless people that are allowed to gamble, which is crazy. Take your shirt off in a Vegas casino. They will fucking
even if
take you out in the desert and bury you.
If you're walking from the pool back to your room and you go to put money in a slot machine, a pit boss will go, shirt, sir.
Shirt.
Go upstairs.
Yeah,
go get it.
They'd hit you with the casino shock stick like the movie. Fall down.
At least wrap a towel around.
Call up Mr. Birthday Party or whatever it was.
Away.
Yeah. Put your nipples away, sir. At least cover your nipples. Can you do that for us?
Belly shirt. I don't care. Put the nipples away.
Sir, I mean, I'm all right with seeing your stomach.
Right.
That's fine. I see a lot of stomachs, but not nipples.
Put your nipples
I refuse to see nipples on the floor. No nipples on the floor. That's the rule.
We got a no nipples policy.
No nipples on the floor policy. So Sparks says they're all hanging out, they're talking, they're drinking, they're doing all their, normal bar shit.
Yeah.
And he says that Wanda Lesher left the bar with Alfred Dingess Jr. and Aaron Nelson. Mm-hmm. Now, when she left, because she has a car and they don't.
Okay.
So presumably she left, she was going to give them a ride home.
She's the ride, right.
She's the ride at this moment in time. And that's what Doug Sparks says is they all got in her car and drove away.
Yeah.
Which, that's fine. Why not? People can give rides home. It's a nice thing to do. Yeah. Why not? So during the drive, they decided that they were going to go somewhere else and continue drinking. Not at bar prices.
Right.
We can get some Boone's Farm and go in the woods, and it's a lot cheaper. So they decide to do that. So Dingess and Aaron Nelson tell her, we know a spot. Go up this mountain road to the Canterbury Cemetery.
Oh. Well, I mean, one of those words sounds nice.
Yeah, not Mountain Road or Cemetery, but Canterbury.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, that sounds good. It sounds, it's an old word.
Sounds green and like England.
It sounds like Cadbury, which makes me want eggs and chocolate.
Sounds like a lovely golf course.
It's wonderful. Canterbury. Yeah, I like that. It's a good one. So they told her to go up there. There's like an area in this cemetery that's, like the family areas that have a pond and benches and shit where you can hang out, where there's no, you're not walking on graves. One of those areas where nobody's buried.
The grieving area.
The family hang area. Yeah.
The family grief center.
Family grief center. So she said, sure, why not? Let's go tie one on and go out there.
Let's go grieving.
So they go out there to grieve. Apparently, what ended up happening is once they got there, and I don't know if there's text messages exchanged. This is what I mean. This sounds like it's 1965 so far, this whole story. It's actually 2002, so just remember that. There are LG phones in people's pockets.
Absolutely.
And, shit like that. So he apparently, I don't know if there's a text or how the exchange happens, but 3 more people pull up when they get there. Okay. And it is David Jacob Nelson, who's 33. He is with his brother Clinty.
Yeah. Go hard on that end.
Clinty.
Yeah.
And Zandel Bryant, who is Dingess's cousin.
It's a Dingus.
Who hangs out with the Nelsons. I'm sure they're all related. I'm sure the Nelsons and the Dingesses are probably related.
There's some Dingus
too.
in their gene pool.
Yeah, someone's dipped a Dingus where it didn't belong, and you're going to get a Dingus. That's what happens. The Dingus genes are strong.
Yeah. They're recessive, but they're strong.
They're strong. Absolutely. So Clinty is, I believe, 31, and Zandel Bryan is 41.
Okay.
So there's an age range here going crazy.
Yeah.
Because Aaron's younger, Alfred's 28, Dingus.
You know what they are, James?
33.
They're people.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We're not the same age. We're just people.
We're just people.
Hey, you're a people. Let's hang out.
Let's all hang out. Why not? So they do. They go out to the rest area of a cemetery, and they hang out. And after a minute, it starts to become very clear that this has become not what Wanda had anticipated. She thought she was just going to hang out with these 2 guys who she's been hanging out with at the bar, and she trusted and thought it would be no problem. She'd give everybody a ride home afterwards. Yeah. Once there's 5 guys involved, then it becomes something different. Yeah. And I feel like this was planned, because otherwise why would they show up?
Right.
You know what I mean? So this to me is like a calculated, triangulated, disgusting thing of we'll find somebody at the bar and bring them here, and then I don't know if it was ahead of time or on the way there, but sometime they didn't all get 5 people, or 6 at this point, because there's 5 guys. 6 people didn't just go to all hang out, and then at some point it just went wrong. This was something was planned at some point.
And if the end game is to disappear somebody, I mean, you're going to a place of death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The cemetery is not typically the party spot.
No, for young people, for teenagers it is.
Yeah, because
not for 40-year-olds.
Because there's no cops there. You can get away from people.
For 40-year-olds, you should have a place of your own to drink. But
it's legal. You can do it.
Yeah, go ahead. But here at the cemetery, up a lone mountain road in the town of Dingess,
all bets are off.
Different goddamn story.
Sure.
So anyway, I'm not going to go into detail here, but they all rape her horribly. I mean, it's disgusting. It's horrible. I mean, an absolute. They're fucking animals, these guys. Yeah. They don't give a shit about any kind of human anything. They're horrible people. My God. All 5 of them. Then, according to Dingess, I believe it was Aaron Nelson who went and got a 2x4 off a bench seat.
It was just laying there?
Yeah. There was near there with a bunch of nails in it. So apparently they took turns beating her. They got tired. She was hit on her torso at least 19 times with the 2x4, causing tons of bruising, broken ribs. And we don't know if this is before or after their sexual assaults. We have no idea. Or during. We have
anything.
No clue what's happening here. It's just horrible. bruises everywhere, 3 broken ribs. Then they hit her at least 9 more times in the head with this 2x4, fracturing every bone in her skull.
Wow.
Everything. They turned her, her skull is mush.
It's nothing.
Not protecting the brain. Keep all this in mind. This doesn't kill her. She's still alive through all this, okay? This lady is tough.
No
Wanda's
shit.
Physically very tough here, and I wish for her sake she wasn't.
Yeah.
Because this is horrific.
Now she's sustaining. I mean, she's aware.
They're just just torture at this point. I mean, 9 blows to the head, fracturing every bone in her skull, and there's nails in the bones. So there's punctures. It's horrific. The evidence shows that her upper and lower jaws were broken as well.
Yeah.
So everything. In addition, they hit her with such force with the 2x4s. With the 2x4 that her brain went to the front of her skull and caused fractures to the bones. That's
my God.
That's how much force is they pushed. Her skull was broken
vicious, man.
From the inside, not from the outside.
Wow.
From the pressure inside. That's insane. And she lived through that. So the force that is required to do that is
it's incredible.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
That's a lot. These fractures also were so bad they resulted in cuts to her face because from the pressure pushing out, lacerations on her face, and then at that point, she was still alive.
Yeah.
So they said, "What do we do?" So they got shoestrings, strangled her with shoestrings, and tied her hands up and strangled her with these shoestrings.
Yeah.
And she was still alive
because they're Dingusses.
And that broke the bone in the roof of her mouth, strangling her, all this type of shit. Then they said, okay, fuck, she's still alive. She's not moving around, but she's breathing. Dump her in the pond. That'll do it. Let's just dump her in the pond. So they dump her in the pond, and they stand there and they look back at their handiwork and they go, well, shit, you can see her.
Yeah.
The pond's not deep enough. It's August. I don't know if it hadn't rained or what, but
her hands
dry.
are out the water.
Yeah, you can see her.
Right.
Like she's going to be floating. What the fuck are we doing? This isn't going to work. And so they drag her out of the pond, tied up still. They threw her in with her hands tied behind her back, still alive, the whole thing. When they pull her out, they realized she's still not dead.
Oh, my God.
Even though she was put
this poor lady
in a pond to drown. She didn't drown somehow. She's still alive. I don't know how this woman's still alive. So then they tied her hands behind her back to the shoestring and then pulled on it that way to try to choke her out that way. They then, they took her from this site.
Yeah.
Okay. After the pond, they took her and threw her in the back of David Nelson's pickup truck.
Unbelievable, man.
And drove to another location. They also drove her car away from there and burned it. Oh. They set the car on fire, which is fucking horrific, obviously, that they're just going to try to cover all this up. And they take her to another spot where they try to strangle her with the shoestring some more. And then they just dig a shallow grave, drop her in, realize she's still not dead.
Yeah.
Still didn't. They still couldn't kill her.
She will be eventually like this, but... And so that's how they left her,
They just
James?
left her in a shallow
God.
grave covered with sticks and branches and leaves.
Holy
and they're like,
shit.
She'll die eventually in there. And they went home.
That is staggering. How do 5 guys have the just...
There's only...
disregard for people to do that together.
Yeah.
And then go about your life?
The only way this can happen is with one very sick person or 5 or more very sick people. It doesn't, 3 people wouldn't do this probably.
No.
4 probably wouldn't. 2 are unlikely to do it. 1 crazy Ted Bundy sick fuck or a group of 5 guys that for some, I don't know what that is. And we've seen it in...
Yeah, you could deduce a million different ways of how the psychopathy of it.
Weird group dynamic of
gross.
When people get together, they completely have all of a sudden, there's no regard for humanity of anybody else. If our group is a group, it's just so fucking weird. And you see it all the time. It happens all over the world where you can...
4 isn't a mob, 5's a mob.
5's a mob.
5's the number.
In my opinion, 5 is out of control. 5, you can't... No one person can control the 5 unless there's like somebody very dominant. there. Which
that's a mob mentality.
Yeah, that's the thing. This isn't, and there's nobody here that's going to be that dominant. This isn't like fucking John Gotti and his crew.
I don't think
five
they're capable,
Dingusses.
James.
Yeah.
5 Dingusses.
This is just 5 Dingusses. This isn't like any kind of sophisticated fucking group of people here. So that just turns into Lord of the Flies.
There it is.
And
that's what it is.
Get this
heads on pikes
shit.
with flies everywhere. That's what this is.
Fucking disgusting. So, anyway, they figured that she probably didn't last through the night. She's probably dead by dawn.
Poor thing.
That's horrible, man. Wanda Lesher, that is a bad way to go out. And to make it even worse, Dingess made sure to tell the police that the whole time before she was unconscious, was begging to go home to her children.
Of course.
That's all she was begging for. And they said, oh, no, we're going to be monsters and do that shit. So absolutely one of the most horrific things we've ever talked about there. So once they find Dingess, once they hear about Dingess, like I said, he implicates himself. Right. He implicates Aaron Nelson, tells the police that you can prove Aaron Nelson did it because her blood got on his clothes when he was beating her with the 2x4.
Yeah.
And he also said, like I said, that's his ex-girlfriend. Right. And Aaron said, no, she ain't.
Yeah. And also,
obviously,
if I know that, then I'm also super implicated.
I would say, yeah. So what the hell? Everybody's in it.
Yeah.
It was from a picnic table, the 2x4.
Took a slat from, wow.
Poured it. It was Aaron Nelson, as what Dingess said, who was the one who retrieved the 2x4. And they said each of the men took turns repeatedly beating her with the 2x4, passing it around.
That's how you get the nails, because that's what a fucking picnic table's held together with.
Yeah, exactly.
Unreal.
And people had put nails. There was extra nails through it too, from what I understand. Just people being dicks. People are. Instead of putting gum under it, they put a nail through it.
I'm sure some termites rotted that thing out. Yeah, got to throw some extra ones in there, hold that shit together.
That's probably true too. It's probably not the best picnic table ever going here. So they beat her. Like I said, skull fractures, broken face, jaw, ribs, everything you could imagine. They dumped her in Messenger Hollow, so Messenger Holler, also in Mingo County. And that's where the pond was, where they were like, we'll drown her in that pond. Right. That didn't work, so then they dug the shallow grave. Oh, my God, that is fucking horrible. So the state police, after they found her and, realized that she's been killed so many different ways. That's when they had a feeling that it was more than one person right away.
Yeah, because that's you can't sustain that from one person. You'd be exhausted.
Yeah. And also there's different DNAs involved around. So they're like, that'll do it. Definitely something happening here. They said she most likely died in the early morning hours of September 1st, 2002. Mm-hmm. Whew, man. And her car also at Messenger Hollow, they found the 2x4 because they brought it with them for some reason.
Wow.
And some of her jewelry was found back at the cemetery, linking the two places. And her car, which was destroyed by fire, was found in a separate location because they took that somewhere and set it on fire. Now, Aaron Nelson, Dingess says, well, I did it, but Aaron Nelson was with me. He's the second person to get implicated.
Right.
He immediately stated, quote, I didn't do anything to that girl. So, not me. Yeah. I didn't do anything to that girl. So there was blood on his clothing when they arrested him on September 2nd, which was the day, 2 days later.
Still wearing the same clothes?
So I don't know if it's the same clothes or just how many articles of clothing does this man have that has fresh blood on the front of them. I don't know. All my clothes got blood on them. So
Flavor Flav likes to wear a clock. See, I just wear blood.
I just every morning I cut myself and just spray it on me. Turns out the blood on his shirt is his own.
Wow.
It's his own blood.
How leaky is this son of a bitch?
Apparently very leaky. So, like I said, I don't know if this is a different shirt, the same shirt. All of his shirts have blood on them. I'm not positive. Did he hook himself on a nail when he was...
Could be a nosebleed. I mean, snorting pills will chop your nose up.
That's a good fucking point. Yeah. I'm not even kidding there. So there's blood on his clothing. It's his own blood. So he asserts, I have nothing to do with this murder. Yeah. I have nothing. That's it. He said that Dingess, I was with Dingess. Yeah. Me and Dingess were drinking, okay? Now, Dingess got a ride from, the way he put it, quote, some girl he had met. Now, this some girl he had met, Wanda Lesher, according to Dingess, is his ex-girlfriend. Right. And so it's not some girl that Aaron doesn't know. It's his ex-girlfriend. So
he is just distancing himself
Yeah,
from everybody.
I don't know nothing.
I barely know a dingus.
I don't even Dingess. Oh, like the town. Yeah, I met one of them. So he said, yeah, some girl he had met, and that Wanda and Dingess dropped me off at home, and I waved goodbye as they drove on up the road, and that's the last I ever saw of them. I don't know what happened. I think that Dingess must have done something to her.
Right.
That dirty Dingess. He's a dirty, dirty Debbie Dingess. So, my God. Anyway, Aaron says that Dingess is just trying to get me in trouble in order to, make himself less guilty.
Okay.
That's my theory as an official non-Dingus.
Yeah. Incredibly educated man in the law and detective work.
Oh, he's an investigator.
That's
from way back.
obviously what happened.
He's experienced.
Yeah.
So now they talk to the Sparks guy that was with them at the bar, and the last anybody saw was the three of them get in a car.
Right.
Dingess, Nelson, and Wanda. So, it's everybody's word against Aaron's that he got dropped off and went home and said, all right, bye.
Everybody else giving the same story, and he's like, I wasn't there.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I was home sleeping. I was a couple people have the home sleeping defense here, as we'll talk about. Now, they said, well, then, but the way the police said it, they go, well, if he's just trying to throw people in there, why didn't he try to get the Sparks guy in trouble too? Say he was there too. Like, right. I mean, if he, we could have put anybody in there. He put you in there. Right. Why you?
Chose you.
Yeah, he chose you. I don't know. Maybe are you the Dingus?
Right.
Who's the Dingus? Let's play a new game. Don't be a Dingus. It's called.
This ain't Red Rover. He's not just picking random people. This is you. You.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
This.
So, like I said, 14 months later, Zandel Bryant is implicated, and he comes in and goes, yep, I did it. Me, David, and Clinty all pulled up in David's pickup truck. And I looked up their records. Clinty has arrests for like writing bad checks a few years back and that sort of shit. Like it's,
the normal scummy shit behavior.
It's a bunch of whites of West Virginia type charges.
And also all the stuff that leads up to, rape and murder.
Yeah, just stuff that just basically gives you general.
As you continually get away with things and get caught for things, you just escalate a smidge.
And, man, so on November 14th, 2003, so this is a year and change later, that's when David Nelson comes in for an interview. Now, David's the one who allegedly drove the pickup truck and whose truck they transported her in. And it's to me, it seems like he's one of the main people, is from what I can gather here. That
main people a year later
doing this.
The lack of urgency is staggering.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if it's because it's a state police matter and they have other shit going on, or I don't understand what's going on.
This guy is a danger to society a year later.
Anyone involved in this, you want off the streets
yesterday.
Fucking
this is crazy.
ASAP, sooner than later. Can we?
How the fuck are we a year later and one of the main guys is being talked to?
I don't
talk to, not even arrested.
Yeah, no, he's being interviewed. He said at the time that he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, where were you? First of all, where were you 14 months ago on this night? Is a hard question to ask somebody. If if you didn't murder someone, you'd go, fuck if I know.
If it wasn't a memorable night, what the
I
fuck?
don't know. Did somebody die, or did the fucking?
Is there a sporting event that night?
I was gonna say, did my favorite team win the Super Bowl? Like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
No clue what happened that day. I couldn't tell you. So that's like in the beginning of Serial. Yeah. That's the first question in the whole podcast that makes it interesting. Is they go, well, if you were asked what you did,
right.
Do you
What'd
remember?
You have for dinner
even last week?
Right.
What'd you do on Wednesday?
I
don't fucking know. Well, Wednesday we recorded, but
we did.
What'd you do on Thursday?
That's all I know, though. I don't know what I did that night.
That's what I mean. That's all people know is like what their normal schedules are. People don't know what the fuck they did unless there's an event.
What I ate.
Yeah,
shit.
That's crazy. He said, well, at that time, I was at work that night at Classic Conveyors in Chapmanville, West Virginia.
Okay.
All right. He said, I was there. So they did some investigating, and they said, "Oh, you weren't at work. Actually,
we
looked into it. And They keep records, unlike you. They probably have a time card or something.
So try again."
Yeah, they said you weren't at work there, and he said, well, I'm uncertain. I guess I was a year ago.
Right.
Fucked if I know. Basically, I don't know where I was. How's that? Don't know. And so they said, well, can you try to be a little more specific? And he said, "Quote: I should have been at work.
No."
I should have been. Now, that's a classic. If someone says should have been doing this, that means they were lying and they weren't doing that. Right. And they're just trying to say should have is just one of those things. It's a classic bullshit thing that people say.
Sure.
I should have been here or I should have been doing that. But you weren't. Otherwise, you'd say I was there.
And we know that you weren't. And if you should have been there and you weren't, whatever happened is probably memorable.
Yes.
So now we got to talk.
Yes. No matter what happens, this is a tip for you.
Yeah.
If someone gets killed, and you didn't kill them, of course, and they interview you and they go, well, where were you that day? Don't say, I should have been here. They think you did it immediately. That's an investigator's immediate red flag.
Right.
Should have been at work. Oh, okay, let's dig into you.
Then where were you?
So he later said in a statement that I was at work. And like I said, they found out that he wasn't at work. Right. So they're going to charge him since he has no alibi, and other people have said he murdered a woman and raped her. So they're going to do that. By the time they charge him, he said, "Are you kidding me? You're right. I wasn't at work. I was at home with my wife and daughters, like a good husband and father."
Calling sick to work sometimes to be a good dad.
I'm being a good dad. That's what happens. Sometimes they just need my support and my love and, my protection.
I'm going to blow off work, paying the bills here to spend money with y'all.
Just going to snuggle up to him. Okay. Just going to snuggle up to him and watch a Disney movie.
Order a pizza.
You know how it is. Oh, it's going to be good.
Homeward Bound.
Get some of them Netflix DVDs that they're sending out now. 2002, is that even? That's too early for Netflix DVDs.
It might be, yeah.
I think it's too early.
Yeah, we're going to have to...
a couple years from now,
chance the late fees at Blockbuster.
Oh, dang. Oh, shit. Is there a Hollywood... I hate that Blockbuster. I want me a Hollywood video. I like them better.
It's $1 cheaper cheaper.
Oh, it's $1 cheaper. None of that bullshit. Bring it back tomorrow.
Right.
Tomorrow? Who's got time to do that?
Like, bring it back when you got time.
Suppose I pass out in a puddle of my own piss tonight. Then
Hollywood
what?
Video didn't go out of business. That's a fact. I don't know if you know that. They didn't go out of business because of Blockbuster. They went out of business because people didn't they didn't have anything more to rent.
It's all gone.
Because that was their lax return policy. They're just like, when you're done with it, I'm still not done with it.
Blockbuster tried that
Yeah.
too. They tried to have a no late fee.
Yeah.
That was like their last gasp, and just nobody brought anything back. They just had nothing.
Well, I guess this is mine now for
That was it.
$2.99.
People have it for a month. They'd have a video till they wanted to rent another video.
Yeah.
That was it. And then they'd bring it back so they could rent something
Right,
else.
because
But,
you won't let me take another one.
yeah, but they didn't fucking bring it like, oh, I got to have that back today.
Right.
People used to freak out. Shit, god damn it. And they get in the car to drive shit back so they have to pay late fees.
I do remember that commercial. No more late fees.
Yeah.
And then they're like, there's no more late fees. And like the mob's like, oh, great. All right. See ya.
That's it. And they realized, oh, well,
Yeah.
then we don't have to bring shit back ever.
Picked up Titanic and went home.
Bye. I'm going to keep this now.
This is mine now.
That's mine now. I'm keeping it. So he said later on that he'd been at work, and then he said he's with his wife and daughters, all this type of shit. So he said he was seen. Now they said Dingess then adds him to the story too after it's added. So Dingess had a story. It's me and Aaron Nelson. Then 3 more people get put into the story. He's like, yeah, sure, them too.
Oh, boy.
Everybody's fine. Either way, don't be a dingus.
Yeah.
That should be a commercial playing in West Virginia constantly. Don't be a dingus.
In Dingess County.
Yep.
In Dingess Town.
Especially
whatever.
in Dingesstown,
Don't
USA.
Be a dingus.
So here's what ends up happening. Scumbag number 1.
Yeah.
Let's just call them that. Zandel Bryant.
Yeah.
I'm only doing this by the chronology of when they were charged and
Got it.
tried and all that sort of thing. He's the first one to be tried.
Wow.
Somehow. He's the first of the 5 of them. He ends up being convicted here of charges of murder. First degree, it's murder, first degree sexual assault, kidnapping, and conspiracy.
Good Lord.
It's a lot.
Those are heavy.
Those are heavy goddamn charges. So jury only took 2 hours before convicting him of second degree murder, first degree sexual assault, and kidnapping, and the rest of it. And 2 hours usually takes an hour to fill out the paperwork. In West Virginia, 2 hours is paperwork. And they needed someone to help, probably, in rural West Virginia.
Yeah. What's the date, y'all?
Well, yeah, we had to get someone in from out of town to read it to us.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dingusses, you deserve this.
This is for real.
Yes, if you're from Dingess, you are either nodding your head or you're probably not our audience. One of the two.
Your police department left a very dangerous man on the streets for a year, and they knew it.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That's the thing. If anyone that likes this show lives in Dingess and is listening, they're just nodding their head going, I fucking thank you.
I want out of here.
Jesus, this place blows.
And I got to change my last name.
Shit. God damn it. So he's convicted of all this, Bryant, and he is sentenced to, well, you, sir, may fuck off. 40 years for the second degree murder, 15 to 35 years on first degree sexual assault, 15 years to life on kidnapping, all to be served consecutively.
Oh, ouchie.
So that's banging you.
Yeah.
Obviously, concurrently means basically the
That's
40-year
like 100
charge
years.
is the umbrella. This is 40 plus 15 to 35 plus 15 to life.
That is heavy.
Adam, yeah.
He's never getting out.
Take the 69 and you add that shit, as Capadonna once said. And that's that's it right there.
Brutal.
Anyway, so scumbag number 2 here, Aaron Nelson. That's the one who was with Dingess.
And his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. Maybe.
Yes. And that's the thing. I feel like I believe that, too.
Yeah, I do, too.
So he's the second one to go on here, and they say he was the one that retrieved the lumber and everything else here. He's charged with first-degree murder, first-degree sexual assault, and kidnapping. And he is found guilty, obviously, because there's people there, people testifying against him left and right. Sure. All the other co-defendants are saying, yeah, he was the one who grabbed the board. It doesn't look good here. So this is what if you're the Nelsons' parents, by the way? 3 of your sons have been accused of this. Man. Imagine what shame you would have.
All 3 of your kids together did just a fucking horrible thing.
I have to disown all 3 of you?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's a lot. What if I get old? This is bad. You people are losers.
I've worked so hard. Carrying this name, and now I've got to change it.
Now I got to change it. By the way, this conviction comes the day after Zandel Bryant's convicted.
That's
so
great.
they're banging him out pretty quick here. This one, the jury, about 2 more hours of deliberation. That's just paperwork time is all that is. They convict him. Now, they have a choice here. He's got different charges because he's got first-degree murder.
Right.
So for him, they can either give a recommendation. If you're convicted of murder in West Virginia, the only sentences are life.
Or death.
No, life. You're getting life in prison either way. There's no death penalty at this point.
Wow.
So you're getting life either way, but you are either getting with mercy or without mercy. The jury recommends mercy or no mercy. Okay. Mercy means chance of parole. Okay. The judge can set like 30 years and you're up for parole. Okay. No mercy means life without.
No mercy.
Fuck yourself. This jury decides you, sir, may fuck off. They gave him as much mercy as he gave Wanda and said no mercy.
Wow.
Life without the possibility of parole.
That's
for Aaron. So he fucking deserves that. By the way, on his background check that I did, under his jobs, I'm going to put this, that's a screenshot. Yeah. Under his jobs, what does that say?
551?
SSI. Oh! Under jobs. Under jobs.
Not works at Social Security office.
No. He never worked for the state.
How old is this man?
Oh, Jesus.
Drawing Social Security.
Yeah, he's in his 30s. This
wow.
guy. I mean, drawing SSI.
I thought it said job. 551.
551. Yeah,
what the hell was that?
What is that? It's the Levi store. No, it's SSI. That's his job. It's listed as his work.
What a piece of shit.
So, scumbag number 3.
Yeah.
Alfred Dingess Jr. This
little
Dingess. Now, little Dingess, he pleads guilty.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole thing.
Takes the plea.
He'll plead guilty and get a lesser deal to testify against everybody else.
Just the lesser deal.
It's so he pleads guilty to charges of first-degree murder and first-degree sexual assault.
Yikes.
So he's not getting like a second degree like Zandel. Because Dingess was one of the ones who brought her
there, right, with Aaron.
And he would have had to done the planning. The other people wouldn't have known to come there if it wasn't for one of these two dipshits. So, Dingess waived his right to a trial and all sorts of shit like that. And they sentence him to, you, sir, may fuck off, life in prison with mercy.
Okay.
Which gives him the possibility of parole. And then they also give him 15 to 35 years on a sexual assault charge, but those run concurrently because he made the deal.
So this man is a horribly dangerous individual.
He's a dangerous
and
dingus.
He's young.
Yeah.
He's young.
He's a danger dingus.
This is not good.
And it's,
he could be back out.
Oh, yeah. He's 28, 35.
Yeah, so young.
He'll probably get out in 30.
Oh, my God.
If he gets out in 30, he'll be 63. Which is
mad rapeable still.
Plenty virile and in prime raping years still.
That is horrible.
So possibility of parole in 30 years for him. That's his first parole op.
That is not happening.
And that would be with time served. It would be from 2032.
Wow.
So 11 more years we could have a dingus out wandering.
Holy shit.
I don't think we want that. Now, Clinty Nelson. Clinty Nelson. Here we go. Mm-hmm. He is also charged with everything like that. The prosecutor said at the close of this, quote, she was a defenseless, helpless person. Mm-hmm. Convict him. Jury needs, I'm going to give you a guess how long, Jimmy.
17 seconds.
2 hours, again.
Close enough.
Paperwork
that seems like a formality. Seems like the judge said, I want to see your faces for 2 hours.
You have to be in there
I
for
get
2
it.
hours.
I understand. 2 fucking hours. You hear me?
You can't just check boxes and hand it right back to me. That ain't going to work now.
I got a shit.
I got a shit. Give me 2 hours. It's a Thad Burgoo last night. It's a thick one.
I'm going to be a minute.
He is found guilty on all 6 counts, which is murder, kidnapping, first-degree sexual assaults, 3 counts of conspiracy as well. The jury sentences him to, you recalcitrant shitbag, may fuck off. Life in prison with 0 mercy.
Fantastic.
So he can get fucked there and enjoy that. So, life, no parole. David Nelson's trial comes up. Okay. Now, right before his trial starts at the end of 2004, he is arrested and charged with escaping from the jail.
That doesn't look good.
That looks bad, generally. When you escape from, and I'm sure they had, like, his family came with, like, 5 horses and they tied ropes to the bars and pulled the wall down or something, I'm sure that's
something ridiculous.
Something, from the 1800s.
Yeah.
2002 this happened in. How are you still letting people escape a goddamn jail in 2002 or up on murder charges? Watch him.
That's
Just keep
the
an
key.
eye on him.
If you let somebody escape, at least let it be somebody that's got 7 DUIs.
Right.
Don't let it be this guy.
This fucking guy.
This is terrible.
Keep him at the end of the hall.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just not near the exit. So, holy shit. So, he's charged with jail escape. Now, Alfred Dingess Jr. and Zendel Bryant are called by the state to testify against him. And they do. They testify that he and everybody else sexually assaulted her, that David participated in killing her. They also said that her body was placed in his pickup truck, that he had driven to the scene, and then he drove her body somewhere else. Now, there isn't any physical evidence directly connecting him to the crime.
Okay.
But there really isn't, the way they did it, and she went in a pond and everything else. There's not a lot of physical evidence. A lot of it was washed off by West Virginia coal runoff pond water.
Oh, dear God.
I mean, so there's nothing there. At trial, his defense is, I have an alibi. That's it. It's my wife and my family.
He's fighting it.
That's my defense.
Ironclad.
Ironclad. His wife testified.
Iron ore clad.
Iron ore clad. It's coal clad. His wife testified that she went to work at Logan General Hospital. She works as like a professional
lady.
Yeah, that's crazy. And left him at home with their daughters, who are ages 14 and 5.
Okay.
Home with the kids.
Should have been at work. Go on.
Yeah. The older child, the 14-year-old, who was 14 at the time, now is, a couple years older, 17 or something. She testified that, yes, my father was home, stayed home all night. Okay, like she was watching him the whole night. He says...
I was babysitting them.
Yeah.
Mom left me to take care of my dad and my daughter, my sister.
I opened the SpaghettiOs and everybody was happy.
Yeah. I said daughter. I didn't want everybody to know that.
I mean,
You get it.
You get it. By the way, SpaghettiOs sound delicious.
They really do.
I love that cheesy, crappy shit.
I'm going to take my kids camping in 2 weeks, and my daughter asked me what we're eating. My son goes, SpaghettiOs is what we're eating.
That's what we're eating.
We're going to put those in the fire, and that's what we're going to eat. I was like, my boy
delicious.
can survive.
They're good.
Yeah.
Why not?
My country boy can survive.
Yeah.
As long as there's a store with SpaghettiOs.
As long as there's an Apple store on the way to the fucking...
As long as he can update his
up there.
Out
by the woods, it should be fine. No worries.
As long as his Xbox is up to date and iOS 7 or 14 or 27, where we're at today.
Wherever we are. As long as he's got it all working.
As long as there's a cell tower and my fucking Xbox, I'll be fine.
All I need is my laptop.
Yeah.
And my personal portable Wi-Fi hotspot, of course, too, because you got to have one of them Wi-Fi things. They work real good. My phone, Xbox fully updated with the Wi-Fi connection, and some SpaghettiOs. Yeah, I can survive anywhere. You give me those things, anywhere you put me, I'm going to survive.
And
I'm
a
a
Bic
survivor.
lighter to start this fire, because there's no fucking way.
I'm a bounder. I can do it.
I'll find the wood. Don't worry. I'll collect it.
It's there. Oh, man. So anyway, yeah, they said she said he was home. Now, they also now bring up character evidence.
Oh, boy.
Is he a good guy? Was he a good father? They bring other people. Is he a trustworthy guy at work? Do you like him? Is he a nice guy? Would you trust him with your daughter, or your sister, or your wife, or somebody? Would you think he would knock him over the head and rape him? Or is that, what do you think of him?
That just made me shiver.
Yeah, gross. He testifies himself that he's a family man who would never, ever commit such crimes.
He's denying the whole thing.
He said he's a family man who would, quote, would never rape women.
Okay.
Never. The problem is, once you bring that up and have other people bring up that you're a good guy who would never rape women and your character's great, then the prosecution is free to bring in
people who will.
People
who say the contrary.
Yes, your character is now up for debate.
Oh, boy.
And also, your past deeds are up for debate. Because if you bring up your good past deeds, well, let's fill in the whole fucking story.
I'll take out the trash. Yeah, but...
Otherwise, that shit wouldn't be allowed. It would just be only the shit in the case. So the defense has to bring that into it, or else the prosecution can't. They can't be the one to bring up character evidence. It has to be the defense. So you're going to bring up a character defense. You better be goddamn sure there's no one out there that's going to say the opposite.
Iron or clad.
Iron or clad. They'll fucking find it. Let me tell you something. So, what they bring up at trial, this is after he gets up and testifies and says, I'm a family man. Yeah. Love my wife and my daughters. I would never, ever stick a dingus anywhere it didn't belong.
He's a great guy.
Great guy. Well, they say, okay, well, we have a report and they bring in a state worker who was working for the state in 1987, working for Child Protective Services, to be quite clear. And in this report, it says that the state was called in and authorities were called in because old fucking David Nelson here and his brother Clinty had been raping their sister.
Oh, my word.
You sister fucking dingus.
Actual sister fuckers.
Actual sister fucking.
Sister
raping West Virginia hillbillies.
Holy hell.
This is fucking
documented.
Oh, yeah. There's a state report here. So they bring that out now and go, what you got to say to that, Chief? Yeah. Apparently, Sister Sheila, who was at the time 13 years old, she came out later with it too. That's why they use her name, because she was involved in this. She was an adult, 20-something now. She said that this was 13 years old. She was 13 years old when this happened, when the two of them were doing this to her, that he apparently did this a number of times. This was a common occurrence.
Of course.
And that both he and Clinty committed different acts on her and continued for an unspecified amount of time, and because she can't remember how long it went on for, because it was a while.
And eventually you try to block it out.
Yeah, it also came up that he also abused his other sisters as well sexually. Yeah. So apparently from a young age, this is his jam,
right?
According to everybody around him. So, and so now they get him up there because he testified, so they can recall him, and they go, all right. They said, isn't it true that you sexually assaulted Sheila, quote, just like Wanda Lesher on August 31st, 2002?
Oh, boy.
Because now you can say that. Here's the exchange, quote, in fact, you, Clinty Nelson, you and Clinty, both sexually abused your younger sister. No, sir, he says. Since she was age 13? No, sir. You had sex with her a couple of times in Logan County, didn't you? No, sir, I didn't.
What do you know?
She stayed home. You would come in her room and force her to have sexual intercourse with you, and you did it at least 4 times.
Oh, dear God.
No, sir, I didn't. This sounds like she has very specific recall of what the fuck happened here. Quote, you abused your other sisters, too. No, sir, I didn't. You sexually assaulted your sister just like Wanda Lesher on August 31st, 2002. And he said, no, I didn't.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah.
How painful is that no to say over and over and over?
Yeah, because they're just nailing you.
The discomfort in that
waving
room.
a report in your face and everything else. Jesus Christ. Yeah, there's discomfort in everybody here.
Oh, boy.
Sheila was 34 at this point here. She was not called to testify, though.
Okay.
Because I guess it was in a report. You really didn't have to.
Yeah, they don't need her words.
Why
they
put
got
her
it
through
written.
it?
Yeah.
Why put her through it, too? Tell us about how your brothers raped you when you were a child in front of everybody,
the
please.
Worst.
That's terrible. I would hate to have to make somebody do that. So, it was a report from Child Protective Services worker, and they said that was sufficient as a rebuttal to character witnesses or character testimony that he wouldn't ever sexually assault women. So, there it is. The report itself is never admitted into evidence, though.
Really?
On purpose. They don't submit it because it had sensitive details about child stuff.
Okay. And when you do that, then the jury gets
record.
to sit. Yeah, and that too. Yeah.
It would be on here. So
okay.
That's why they don't want to do it. His attorney at this point, because of this being introduced, Nelson's attorney says, we need a mistrial.
Yeah.
This is over.
This is too much.
This is over, man. Are you fucking kidding me?
This is going to ruin my record.
I don't think we're going to win.
Well, we would like a mistrial on the grounds of that is devastating.
There's been a lot of evidence, and it's maybe...
And we don't like it.
Possibly too much. That's what we're saying now. So...
like a mistrial on grounds of I can't win.
No shit. So the judge says, no.
Yeah.
You brought up character shit. Denied. He says, yeah, you brought it up. So in the closing arguments, obviously prosecutor says that he did horrible things to his sister, horrible things to this lady, to Wanda Lesher. He killed her. Lucky he didn't kill his sister. He's a monster, obviously. The only thing to do is to fucking get him out of here. So, verdict comes in, and jurors find David Nelson guilty, obviously. Thank fuck they didn't take the...
Without that track record of what he's capable of, he may have walked.
Oh, he may have walked. Yeah, just with his wife and his kid. Oh, Daddy was home with me.
Jesus.
I don't know how, though, when there's 4 other people going, dude, it was your pickup truck.
Right.
None of us have a fucking pickup truck.
Right.
How did we get her there?
Right.
You know, what are we talking about?
Sentra.
Yeah, we didn't put her in the back of her Sentra, then burn it, and then carry her somewhere else.
Right.
That would be kind of crazy. So, the jury comes in, and they're wanting to do they decline, or do they recommend mercy or not? And they say, sister fucking hillbilly.
Oh, boy.
No mercy.
Fantastic.
No mercy. And the judge sentences him to 2 terms of life without mercy. So double life.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Double winner.
He is the opposite of a double winner, is what I was saying. No parole for him.
Yeah.
Now, his appeal's kind of interesting. We're going to talk about that shit because it is.
They should play the sensei from the Karate Kid saying "No mercy" when they sentence people in West Virginia.
You want just memes in court now?
I want to direct your attention to the screen, please. And then the guy from
holds up their phone. No mercy, and it comes up with like crazy letters and then
Cobra Kai,
and like a Kirby pops up in there, and he's like. Yeah, that'd be a meme. I don't know.
Let's make it enjoyable. I want to watch. Make this entertaining.
Christ.
Fuck them.
West Virginia's fucked up enough.
Yeah.
Let's let them read first. So
they got to get the internet before they get memes.
Yeah, let's really take it easy, one step at a time here. So November 1st, 2007, he files his appeal.
Okay.
They said that, quote, the cross-examination was not limited to whether David Nelson sexually abused or sexually assaulted his sister one time when she was 13 years old, adding that the prosecutor suggested the abuse continued since she was 13. That's the appeal case.
Okay.
They're saying, yes, you brought up character stuff to rebut character stuff, but you took it outside the bounds. And they said no evidence was submitted indicating that any court proceedings took place with regard to the sexual misconduct before. She wasn't called to testify. This is his appeal, what he's trying to say.
Your accuser, blah, blah, blah.
They wrote that the report wasn't admitted into evidence, and they said, quote, this is the court. This court finds it difficult to sustain the prosecution that the cross-examination elicited nothing more than rebuttal character evidence. They're saying you got a little bit more than... You got a little bit more than he got out of the character thing, basically. Like, he was like, people were like, he's a good guy. And they were like, he rapes his sister while she's a child. Like, it was, but that's what character shit is.
It's a good point. He's hitting singles and they're just blasting him out the park.
Boom. Fucking standing there watching him.
Yeah, into the Giants bay.
Walking up the baseline with the bat still in their hand, just ready to drop it when it falls in the water.
The hand up to their ear, listening for the splash. Kerplunk.
Oh, man. So they said that they never engaged in a factual determination concerning whether there was sufficient evidence to show the past acts occurred because they were all kids and it wasn't a criminal trial. It was a child protective services thing.
Right.
And that never got followed up on because it's in Dingess, West Virginia. So, fuck, man. Or maybe it did. I don't fucking know, but nothing ever came of it anyway. So the decision comes in on what to do with his appeal here. The West Virginia Supreme Court on August 30th, it's a 5-judge panel here, so it's a majority rules type situation. 4 out of the 5 justices vote that he will, you sir, get a new trial.
Wow.
They fucking reverse his shit, man.
Can't bring. Oh no!
Yeah, no, they reverse. He's got there. They fought,
and without
the whole
that,
thing.
he could. Holy
it's
shit!
Fucking crazy. Yeah, they reverse it. New trial for him, they're saying, and everything. This is Chief Justice. I'll give you the justices who did this, just in case you run into one of them. You want to give them a piece of your mind here. Chief Justice Robin Davis, Justices Joseph Albright, Brent Benjamin, and Larry Starcher said new trial.
Assholes.
And then Justice Spike Maynard had a dissent.
Is that real?
Justice Spike Maynard.
His name is Spike.
Judge Spike.
Legal name.
Spike. I am Justice Spike Maynard.
That is the furthest anybody named Spike has ever achieved.
I will spike justice into your chest cavity till it comes out of your back.
Spike Maynard.
Spike Maynard. Well, Spike Maynard's fucking awesome.
Well, that is my family's last name from Germany, and I hope that is my family.
You might be related to Justice Spike.
I pray to fuck it is.
You got to look in the records here. So Justice Maynard is the one dissenting sane vote, and he said, quote, I would affirm the convictions of the defendant, David Nelson, because I do not believe the trial court nor the prosecutor committed any error. Clearly, the trial was in all aspects fair and impartial, and the jury reached the correct verdict. The facts in this case are brutal and some of the most horrible that I've ever read. The evidence shows that the defendant and the other 4 perpetrators raped the victim, Wanda Lesher. They beat Ms. Lesher on her torso at least 19 times with a 2x4, causing numerous bruises on her body and 3 broken ribs. The defendant and the other perpetrators also struck Ms. Lesher more than 9 times on the head, fracturing every bone in her skull. The evidence shows that Ms. Lesher's upper jaws and lower jaws were broken from being struck with a heavy object. In addition, the defendant and others hit Ms. Lesher with such force by a 2x4 with nails sticking out of it that her brain went into the front of her skull and caused fractures to the bones. These fractures resulted in lacerations on Ms. Lesher's face. Further, the defendant and others strangled Miss Lesher, breaking a bone in the roof of her mouth. Miss Lesher's lifeless, bloody, bruised, and battered body, whoa, he's getting fucking serious here, was discovered lying in a shallow grave covered with sticks and twigs. An ear was missing, and she was naked with the exception of a pair of socks. The deputy chief medical examiner concluded she died as a result of multiple blunt force injuries to the back of the head, or to the head, back, and anterior torso, with ligature strangulation and drowning as contributory factors in her death. In the midst of this indescribably horrible ordeal, Ms. Lesher begged to be allowed to go home to be with her children. What Ms. Lesher suffered in her final hours of life is truly unimaginable. I'm simply shocked that the majority reverses the defendant's convictions based on allegedly improper questioning of the defendant by a prosecutor. Contrary to the majority, I believe the defendant was properly questioned under Rule of Evidence 404A1, which they're saying they should have had a hearing over it before they allowed it to happen, about allegations that he sexually abused his sister. The purpose of this questioning was to rebut testimony of good character offered by the defendant. That's what I mean. They didn't need proof of that.
Yeah.
If you're taking character shit at face value, whatever the witness says, why do you have to prove this if he's saying he's good? Well, prove you're a good guy then.
But upon, do they just have that and then they don't have to offer that as discovery, or do they have to offer that as if you say that, we're going to say
no?
this?
That's not their plan. No, the sheriff or the prosecutor has to tell you everything they have, but that's not part of it.
So
they're not allowed to introduce that. They had that in their back pocket.
So he was surprised when he brought up.
Absolutely. Because that's what you do. You have to get dirt
awesome.
in case they bring up character. Then you can hit them with the dirt.
That's awesome. I wish I was there to see his fucking face.
No shit, man. So, at trial, the defendant's counsel presented a photograph of the defendant with his wife and 2 daughters and represented to the jury that he's a family man. On direct examination, counsel elicited testimony from the defendant that he's not a cold-blooded killer, a kidnapper, and a rapist. Counsel elicited further testimony that the defendant does not have a general dislike of women, he does not like to beat and rape them, and he loves his wife and daughters. Thanks. Because the defendant put his own character at issue, the state clearly had a right, under our rules, to impeach the defendant's character. The state properly sought to do so by asking the defendant about allegations from a 1987 Child Services report that he had sexually abused his sister on numerous occasions from the time she was 13 years old. These allegations of abuse were certainly relevant to rebut the defendant's claims that he's a family man who holds women in high esteem and who does not believe in raping or beating them.
Which are things you shouldn't have to prove about yourself. That is terrible.
Yeah, there's very few people. How many people are going to accuse you of raping and beating them? None. I can't think of one.
I got zero.
Yeah, I got zero on my list.
Zero.
Trial court did not abuse its discretion in allowing the defendant to be asked about these allegations. Once he denied these allegations, the jury possessed all the relevant evidence necessary with regard to his character to make necessary credibility determinations. It's up to the jury at that point. I agree with that. Don't bring shit up if you don't want it. Fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? Watch out. Shit. So, he said, quote, the state is needlessly charged with the time and expense of retrying a defendant who is fairly found guilty of an evil and heinous crime by an impartial jury. You, sir, should keep fucking off, even though you're not going to.
And then Spike jumped on a Santa Cruz and rode home.
Yep, that was it. He's like, later, bro.
Yeah, he doesn't even take off the rope.
Popped a joint in his mouth. He's like, yeah. So new trial comes around.
Okay.
There's gonna be a new trial. In this trial, all of a sudden now, I don't know what happened between then and now. It's been a few years. David Nelson's wife now says she won't testify on his behalf to his alibi.
Oh.
None of his family will.
I have lied once. I can't do it again.
The daughter won't say he was home.
Oh.
She won't say he was home. She'll go, I don't know where the fuck he was. And the daughter will go, he went somewhere.
Yeah.
That's their testimony now.
Uh-oh.
So at this point, knowing that's his only defense,
He's
obviously.
Take a plea?
He takes plea. Now he pleads guilty.
Can you imagine?
Not over yet, though.
Of all the luck.
Yeah. This fucking, what? No, I had it. Pleads guilty to second-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Okay. So there was anyway, they didn't do anything. You notice charges that are missing there? Second-degree murder.
Rape?
Yeah,
Where
none
the
of that.
fuck is that?
There's no sexual assault charges in here because they didn't have any physical evidence. So he won't plead. So they said they could get him to plead guilty to the murder first degree. So they find him guilty.
Yeah.
May fuck off. Yeah. Jail. Life with mercy is the thing with him. Okay. That's part of the deal.
Gross. A man we know will treat women terribly.
Oh, absolutely.
Jesus.
His sister, this one, that one, it doesn't fucking matter. He's
my God.
a disgusting monster.
With mercy.
So he appeals his plea. He pled.
You motherfucker.
Now, this hillbilly Dingess is going to appeal his plea.
Wow.
So he appealed his fucking judgment and got that reversed and now pled, and now he's like, that wasn't fair either, even though I signed it.
Yeah.
So in his plea, he is suing. This is ridiculous here because there's a list of defendants. I found the original complaint from I was on Pacer or something. I really got deep on this. And it says defendants in this case. Judge Michael Thornsberry, Michael Sparks, prosecutor, Mark Hobbs, attorney at law, who was his attorney who got his case overturned.
Wow.
He got the judgment overturned. He's now suing him, too, adding him in the lawsuit. Jane Doe, a child protective services worker, because they didn't give out her name. Jim Gilliam, investigator. John Milliam, state police, and others.
Okay.
And there are a lot of others. He alleges that after the reversal of his convictions, he pled guilty to conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and to second-degree murder only, this is the only reason why, because the prosecuting attorney, quote, conspired with his wife to eliminate his alibi defense and threatened to arrest his father, brother, and nephew if he didn't accept the plea agreement.
Okay.
I'm going to round up every dingus in this county. I swear to God. Or Nelson's here, but they're still all related. So,
what does he think is going to happen, though?
Do you think that's what happened? Do you think this? I'll lock your nephew up and your brother. You know what? I'll lock your daddy up. What do you think of that? You better take that deal.
I'll put everybody in jail for your crimes. For what?
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't he just go?
What'd they do?
Cool. I'll try you again. You have no alibi witness. That'll take about 2 days, and then you'll fucking life without again. Enjoy, asshole. I think he took it to not get life without,
right?
To get the possibility. So he says Nelson alleges that he is, quote, and this is a quote, he is totally and completely innocent. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's ever been his whole life completely innocent of anything.
I mean, one means the same as the other.
Totally and completely innocent. By the way, that's another tip that someone's lying.
Yeah.
When they say, like, honestly, that means dishonestly. Yeah. When they say 100% absolutely positively not guilty, that means guilty as fuck. Normal people don't do that.
Right.
When people start saying that I am, not I'm, or I did not do that.
Right.
That means, is that
cannot.
how you normally talk? That
Right.
means you're full of shit, probably. Then it's not your normal speech pattern. So he says that DNA evidence was collected from Wanda Lesher and that the prosecutor and the plaintiff's defense attorney would not get DNA testing done to determine if the plaintiff's DNA was present. He contends that the defendants are violating his right to access post-conviction DNA evidence because their shit's involved in it too, because there's more people. The court holds that states have flexibility in developing procedures for dealing with requests for post-conviction DNA testing, and that the federal courts may upset a state's post-conviction relief procedures only if they are fundamentally inadequate to vindicate the federal. This is a federal. It's a federal appeal. They say that the federal courts only get involved in the DNA shit if the states don't have their shit together enough to even do the testing that they're supposed to do and things like that. They do say, quote, the West Virginia legislature has provided a comprehensive statutory framework within which petitioner may file a motion in state court seeking DNA testing of evidence. That he didn't do that, they're saying. So you didn't file the paperwork to go through the proper channels.
Not our problem.
Then you're suing saying it was hidden from you.
Right.
Can't do that. You didn't try to get it first. So they said if such testing results in newly discovered evidence calling into question his guilt, petitioner may seek post-conviction relief in state court pursuant to there. So there, he had a recourse. You shouldn't be in federal court, apparently, is what they're saying. There's no indication that he filed such a motion. For these reasons, get fucked, essentially, there. So he decides he's going to civilly sue all these people now.
That seems expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Does he have like a cousin who's a lawyer who went,
doing?
Got out of here? He is suing these people, this list of people. Judge Michael Thornsberry, the judge in this case, he's civilly suing him, alleging that he went to the crime scene days after the murder, discovered evidence with the police, aided and abetted the police in their investigation, withheld and suppressed DNA evidence and exculpatory evidence, and helped his attorney, the defense attorney, Hobbs, remove documents from the files which would prove that the judge was at the crime scene. So the defense lawyer has documentation that the judge was at the crime scene traipsing around, and he destroyed it to hurt his own client.
Right.
And help the judge.
Yeah.
That's
to help the state.
Wow, that's a you're going long there. That's a long one. That's a Hail Mary,
Really
I'm going to say there.
You're not very Aaron Rodgers.
No, he also, prosecuting attorney Michael Sparks here, he sues, C. Michael Sparks, charging that based on the false, perjured, and uncorroborated statements of Alfred Dingess and Zondell Bryant and disregarding the truth, encouraged Dingess and Bryant to perjure themselves against him, went to the crime scene also, which a prosecutor can go to the crime scene and look around, withheld DNA evidence, which would prove his innocence, and suppressed exculpatory evidence as to the plaintiff's role, made false statements to the press concerning plaintiff's role in the crimes against Wanda Lesher. Yeah, because he was trying the case. So what's he going to go? I don't think he did it, but I'm trying the case. The fuck kind of bullshit is that? Offered evidence of the plaintiff's alleged sexual assault of his sister, conspired with plaintiff's wife, Lynetta Baisden, and agreed to not to prosecute her friend if she did not testify in support of his alibi. So not only did this prosecutor threaten to arrest her whole family, or his whole family if he didn't take the plea, but then said that he would dismiss a charge against a friend of hers. So her friend's charge is more important than her husband's murder charge, is what they're saying there. And okay. So, then he says the threatening of the family. The investigator, Jim Gilliam, participated in the decision to charge plaintiff based on the false, perjured, and uncorroborated statements of Alfred Dingess and Zondell Bryant. So he wants to sue a cop for charging him, an investigator, for being involved in charging him with a murder, even though they don't have the final say in that. Yeah. That's the attorneys that do that. But he helped based on the statements that they elicited against him.
Listen, James,
you're civilly responsible.
When you got life in prison, you're gonna be in that library figuring it out.
So you got a lot of time to write crazy shit like this, claiming he withheld DNA evidence as well. Mark Hobbs, his own attorney, withheld DNA evidence which would have proved his innocence and suppressed exculpatory evidence as to the plaintiff's role. His own attorney communicated to plaintiff the prosecuting attorney's threat to arrest plaintiff's father, brother, and nephew if plaintiff did not accept plea agreement. And he says he also removed the files so the judge wouldn't get in trouble.
Okay.
The chief investigator here participated in the decision to charge the plaintiff based on false perjured. Same bullshit. And finally, or a couple more here, suing Alfred Dingess Jr. civilly.
He's suing him.
So he's life in prison and he's a dingus. What are you suing him for? His fucking ramen noodles?
What
are you getting from him? Saying he gave a statement to the police implicating himself and everybody else, blah, blah, blah. Suing Zendel Bryant, giving a statement that implicated him.
Right.
Lynetta Baisden, his wife. Sue her too. Fuck it. Sue my wife. Is my daughter in there? Sue her too. My grandma still alive? Let's throw a lawsuit at her.
She won't testify. I'll sue her ass.
I had a teacher in the 4th grade. Come to think of it, I just didn't like the way his expression on his face was real what do you think you're doing over there? Oh, let's sue him. What do you say? Fuck it, throw him on the suit. Conspiring with prosecuting attorney Sparks and agreeing not to testify to plaintiff's alibi at the retrial in return for the prosecutor's agreement not to prosecute her friend. Child Protective Service worker Jane Doe assisted and encouraged prosecuting attorney Sparks to convict plaintiff by using a 1987 report of sexual misconduct of plaintiff and his brother against their sister in violation of state law and privacy regulations. Wow. And finally, John Mark Hubbard, David Baisden, who I assume is a relative of his wife, and Greg Smith, suing them. We've never heard of these people.
Random-ass people.
Were aware of and had knowledge that the prosecuting attorney Sparks used false and perjured information to charge Mingo County residents with crime and did nothing about it, thus adopting the custom, practice, and policy. Yeah. These are county commissioners is what they are. So it's their fault that they've allowed this to go on under their umbrella.
He's getting the enablers.
He's suing fucking everybody. I can't believe he's suing his attorney that got him his decision reversed. Right. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And in this, like I said, he implies that accuses him of removing files that would make the judge look bad.
Staggering.
In order to, now the judge is the one I think that's hilarious.
That's just fun.
He says that he agreed to work with and assist the police and prosecutor in the investigation of the crimes, accompanied the police to the crime scene, and assisted with the gathering of evidence, withholding of evidence, giving advice and instructions to police, and helping to solve the crimes committed against Wanda Lesher. He was not acting in his judicial capacity. That isn't. A judge shouldn't do that if he did do that.
Well, I mean, they call him a prosecutor in a robe, so, I mean, that's what they fucking do.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not allowed to.
Right, they're not supposed to. Yeah, that's what
they don't go to crime scenes and shit.
No, they're
not till the trial, maybe.
They should never have rubber gloves on.
No. Judge Ito wasn't traipsing around in Nicole Simpson's blood going, hey, what's this over here, guys? You see anything? That wasn't happening. Because also in a place that's not this fucking big, you wouldn't know who the judge is going to be because there's a lot of judges. There wouldn't be, he's the judge. Right. And he's going down there with the cops. Right. There's plenty of cops and plenty of judges. Who knows what's going to happen?
But he heard there was a murder, and he was like, I'd kind of like to see that.
Let me go take a gander at
Let's
that.
have a look-see.
I'm going to take a gander.
Do I want to see a dead body? I guess.
I think I do. So he said, as a result, he's not entitled to the usual absolute judicial immunity, which comes from just trying a case, and whatever you do is in the furtherance of your job. And if you fuck something up, it's not a criminal or a civil act. It's just a mistake that happens. Second, they said that his conclusion, the complaint makes no link between. They also try to say that he tried to, that he helped the perjury happen against him, but that he was also at the crime scene, but they're saying there's no connection between those two things. He alleges all of this shit here. They say under no circumstances was Judge Thornberry performing his judicial function when he assisted and worked with the police, blah, blah, blah. They find, though, that in order to do this, they really, really, really have to have a lot of evidence of this, of him. He has to go over the top.
Right.
To be able to civilly sue a judge for something like this, it's got to be crazy.
It's got to be very egregious.
It's got to be really, really egregious.
Obvious.
I'm sure people can think of a couple examples of that.
Sure.
Yeah. Of an egregious judge who, whatever, picks a side, obviously.
Right,
it happens.
that goes too far.
Yeah, it happens all the time. So the decision on the judge is that judges are neither investigators nor law enforcement officers. They do not gather evidence. They rule on admissibility of evidence in court proceedings, blah, blah, blah. So it appears based on the objections that the plaintiff's allegations were that the judge withheld and suppressed evidence, and they're saying that that you could sue him if that was proven true. Okay. That would keep him. It would get rid of the immunity because these are non-judicial acts.
Yeah, you got to impeach him pretty hard.
You have to prove that first, and you didn't. So steps,
claims are not proof.
Exactly.
Right.
Dingess and Bryant sounds like the worst law firm in any city in America.
Or anything. It sounds like the worst restaurant.
Yeah.
Sounds like the worst automotive shop. Sounds like the worst everything.
Bad ad agency. Yeah. Gave my business to Dingess and Bryant. You guys have lost me.
That's the worst taco shop. That's the worst everything.
It's the fucking worst. Now, witnesses have absolute immunity from liability for their testimony at court proceedings. Mm-hmm. Period. That's it. Now, perhaps to avoid the rule of absolute immunity, the complaint focuses on the statements given, not their testimony in court, only their statements given beforehand, which is what they then testified to. It's pretty fucking silly. So they come up with that going, yeah, no, that's not how that works. You can't sue them. Wants to sue his wife, like we said, because she declined to do all of that.
Because she won't talk.
Yeah, they said that the undersigned proposes that the presiding judge find the plaintiff's complaint fails to state a claim against defendant. So no, you can't. You shouldn't have to testify. That's the thing. Right. She doesn't have to say that. If she says you weren't there, you can't force her to say you were.
And as a matter of fact, as a wife, she has more opportunity and laws and legality to not.
Yeah, and
obviously to protect the implications and
this
whatever.
Is the opposite.
And she's. Whatever. She should be able not to fucking testify if she doesn't want to.
Well, she just says, I'm not going to say what you want me to. Do you want me to say that you weren't there? Fine, I'll say that.
Right.
And he's like, what do you mean?
I can't say
do that. Yeah.
Shit that's not true.
She just won't testify on his behalf.
Yeah.
I'm sure if she was subpoenaed by the prosecution, she'd have to testify and she'd say he wasn't there.
Right.
That's it. So, and then also the whole thing with the county commissioners suing them. Also, there's a thing about his lawyer. He claims ineffective assistance of trial counsel, because the counsel made a motion to withdraw from the case, which was denied. In making this claim, Nelson persists in alleging that the counsel did not have a license to practice law at the time of the trial. Okay. No. They counter that it's patently false because while the proceeding that ultimately led to the annulment of his law license began before, so he did get his license taken away. The process began before the trial started, but they didn't take his license away until January of 2006, which was like 6 months later.
Holy shit.
This is a fucking mess. You dingussy shitbags.
A man was like under review of his license to practice law.
Oh, yeah. And he's like.
And they allowed him to be on a murder trial.
On a murder trial. No problem.
But to his credit, he did get your shit reversed.
No, this was his trial lawyer, not his appeal lawyer.
Okay.
His trial lawyer got him convicted. Appeal lawyer. Appeal lawyers are totally different lawyers usually. They're good at appeals.
Okay.
Different specialty. So, ineffective by not raising that. Wow. We find this allegation likewise false because they said that he had a law license. What the fuck do you want? He said he defended you vigorously. He did everything that you could possibly want from a lawyer.
Made no mistakes.
He was licensed. So
and then we took it away later.
That's it. So, finally, that is affirmed. And that is finally settled June of 2015. This finally settled down.
Stuck around way too long.
So as of now, there's all 5 of them are in jail till at least 2032. Mm-hmm. And that's that. Poor Wanda's dead.
Wow.
And that's that. So that is Dingess, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Dingess.
Beautiful.
Now we have story number 2.
Oh, my.
Okay.
Heavy today.
Another crazy name of a fucking. It's episode 250.
Yeah.
We're bringing it for these people.
This is good. Yeah.
We want to keep this.
Got a lot for you.
Yeah, baby. We got a full episode here. This is in Sand Lick, West Virginia.
Sand Lick.
Sand Lick.
L-I-C-K.
One word. L-I-C-K.
Gross.
Sand Lick, West Virginia, this is. It's an unincorporated community in Mercer County, West Virginia. It's located on Sand Lick Creek, of course.
It's like they thought a sandwich was called a sand lick.
It's a sand lick. Let me get one of them sand licks.
Y'all got sand lickers?
Let me get a ham sand lick. This is at the junction of County Routes 71 and 5 and 71 and 13, north of Bluefield.
Yeah.
It's about 2.5 hours to Dingess.
Okay.
2.5 hours over to Dingess. Now, I tried to look for the population of the place. And I found on several websites it said the same thing. As far as we can tell, Sand Lick has not been included in past census counts, so there's no population information for this community. It's literally what it is. It could be 12 people. There could be 12, there could be 3,000, but they don't participate, meaning that no one will knock on doors because they're afraid to get killed.
It's hysterical.
It's nuts. So Bluefield, which is about 5-7 miles away, that has about 10,000 people there. So this is like a normal, it's a normal little small town, just a nice town there.
Yeah.
And then you have the Sandlickians are the whites. Yeah. The Sandlicks come from the fucking hills
to
ask if Taco Bell has any mozzarella cheese sticks. You know what I mean? That's what they do. They come streaming down. Oh, shit, the Sandlickians are coming.
Yeah.
Everybody, get the kids inside. They're coming from Sandlick. Oh, God.
Pop over to McDonald's, ask for some breadsticks.
With like Mad Max trucks and stuff, and people standing on the fucking...
Lifted El Caminos.
Oh, yeah, lifted big tire El Caminos there. So Sand Lick obviously is Sand Lick and Dingess are our two towns this week. We're in good goddamn shape here.
Absolutely.
So let us talk about a man from Sand Lick. The man from Sand Lick. His name is Kenneth Parsons. Okay. This is fucking amazing. This is a crazy goddamn story. So on November 1st, 1985, they're calling it the morning of, and I'm thinking it's a late night because they're at a bar. A tavern called the Timberwolf.
Okay.
It's in Sand Lick, West Virginia, obviously. So Kenneth Parsons is there. He's hanging out with a guy named Howard McCormick at the old Timberwolf.
Hell yeah.
It's got a picture of a big howling wolf outside.
No, it doesn't. It's got Christian Leitner on it.
85. Christian Leitner was about fucking 14 years old.
Yeah.
So they meet there and they they have a few drinks at a bar. Okay. So I'm thinking this is like after midnight. Then they drive to a store. Oh, maybe this is morning. I think this is morning, dude. Yeah. I think they're morning drinking in a bar.
Wow.
This is real. They're morning drinking in a place called the Timberwolf.
Awesome.
Near Sand Lick. So it's not even in Sand Lick.
Right.
So they drive from there to Mason's Store, it's called. This is in Seth, West Virginia. Why, you may ask?
Yeah.
So Kenneth Parsons can purchase a gun.
Oh, my God.
Because when it's in the AM and you've already been drinking for a while, it's a good time to get a gun.
You're not even day drinking yet. You already made bad decisions.
Yeah, you're drinking with your eggs. That's really weird and gross. So he tells this McCormick guy, Parsons tells McCormick, that I want to buy a gun so I can shoot fucking Terry Thomas. You know Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been fucking around with my ex-wife.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shoot him.
Had enough of it.
I have come to the decision over a couple of cheap whiskeys that I am going to murder this man.
Come to the decision over my Budweiser and eggs. It is. I've had enough.
Let's go. My old crow tells me I need to go buy a gun and shoot him. So now it's not even known that he's romantically involved with the ex-wife. He suspects that this is going on. So he's like, I better shoot him just in case.
Suspicion is enough?
I better shoot him just in case. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
You never know. He could be doing it. If not, he's just going to be laughing behind my back right now. Go, he don't even know. He suspects it. Well, I suspect you got a bullet in your head. How's that sound, Terry?
If and he's not
thinking, Terry,
then at least nobody else in town will.
Oh, and then I'll make sure he definitely ain't now. So he said that he went to the store, wasn't able to find the type of gun he wanted at Mason's store. He told McCormick that he wanted a gun small enough that he could conceal it in his boot.
Yeah.
He wanted a boot gun.
It's a good one.
You know when you got to get a boot gun.
It's a damn good gun to have.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do you go for a boot gun and you're like, that's too big for a boot gun. That's too small for a boot gun. It's going to fall down and be in my...
What, am I wearing a garter belt?
Come on, man. What do I look like?
I got Tony Llamas. They'll pack a big one.
These look pink to you, pal? Let's go now.
They'll
Jesus
hold at
Christ.
least a 32.
I need at least a 25 in there, something. I can't have no, little... pea shooter.
I could get a five-shot 38. Let's go, buddy.
Baby, put it in there. So they drove to the home of a different guy who has a gun for sale.
Yeah.
Just know all the guns for sale in town. This is a Joe Dolan. Yeah. Mr. Joe Dolan. He sells them a 32 caliber.
Yeah, there you go.
A boot gun, like we said, somewhere in there. 32 caliber pistol and shells for $90.
Wow.
That gun must be a piece of shit. It hasn't been cleaned. It's oiled. It's rusted and shit.
Today, those shells are $90.
I was gonna say, a gun and shells for $90? That seems really cheap.
It might just be enough shells to make it plural.
And two shells.
2 shells.
So they purchase the gun, and then you do as you do after you purchase a gun always.
You better go make sure that shit works.
Well, no, you better go back to the Timberwolf and get back drinking again, damn it. Well, we got the gun. Back to the stool. All right. Now, maybe Terry Thomas will show up. Shit. Now, they meet Paul Kirk there. Also, Paul Kirk's brother, Robert Kirk, and a guy named Randy Thomas.
This is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's hanging out there. So you got McCormick, you got Kenneth Parsons, Paul and Robert Kirk, and Randy Thomas. All hanging. Another 5-pack.
Yeah, off of the Timberwolf.
All at the Timberwolf. Timberwolf's busy this morning.
It is banging.
Business is banging. Can you call Betty Joe to take a shit? I mean, we need extra paper. It's getting crazy here.
We can double our profits. We get another cashier.
Well, somebody here. So the Kenneth Parsons, he talks Paul Kirk into driving him somewhere. He's at a bar in the morning. You think he wants to drive somewhere?
Oh, boy.
No, he's there so he doesn't have to drive. Convinces him to drive him to Whitesville, where he intended to...
Yeah.
This is such a weird thing. What a weird morning. Go drinking. I think I should buy a gun.
Yeah.
Back to the bar drinking. Hey, will you give me a ride? Well, I'm just kind of sitting there. Please, man, please give me a ride. Oh, God damn it, I need a ride. All right, fine. What do you need it for? Well... I need to purchase a stereo and 4 kitchen chairs. No table, mind you. A stereo and 4 kitchen chairs. Why, mind you? Why do you think, Jimmy?
I
got a
divorced.
new trailer. No, as a gift for whom? His ex-wife.
Yeah. Ex-wife.
What the fuck?
That
Mad Libs is that?
So fun.
A stereo.
I got her
4
birthday
chairs,
gift list, and these are what she said she wanted.
stereo.
So, yeah.
4 chairs. Kitchen chairs, mind you. And, me to be packing heat in my boot.
Got on 1985 offer up, and I'm going to go find them.
I'm going to find them. So he's going to buy them as a gift for his ex-wife. What kind of a drunken logic is like, my wife really would like this stereo and kitchen chairs?
How much disposable income does he have that all day long he can just be
drinking,
buying random shit?
Yeah, he's doing well over here.
He has just a weird appetite for consuming.
So the Kirk brothers, Randy Thomas and Kenneth Parsons, I guess McCormick is gone now, leave the Timberwolf, drove to a furniture store, and purchased the items. Okay. So he was like, I thought it was like somebody was selling that shit. Like, my buddy's selling a stereo and 4 kitchen chairs. She could probably use new kitchen chairs. He went to a furniture store like, I need to buy her a stereo and 4 kitchen chairs. That's what she's going. That's going to get her to love me again.
An interesting fucking outing.
Okay.
It's not like it was just for sale, just random shit, and he's like, it'll do.
Yeah, no.
He purposely bought this shit.
4 chairs and a stereo. So from there, where do you think they're going to go now?
To her house to drop that shit off.
Of course not.
No.
Why would they do that? That seems logical, right?
Drive around with the shit in the car?
No. Well, yeah, but to a place. They drive to Richard Gene Adkins' house, where they spend the entire day drinking. Wow. So they
sitting there looking at the pickup, the lifted El Camino with all that shit in the back.
Man, it's all back there. You did a good job. She gonna love that. Boy, I tell you what.
Give me another beer.
So they spend the entire day from like noon to 7:30 drinking.
Just shouting beer me.
And mind you, this has started. They've been drinking all morning, too. So this is just at least 12 hours a guy's been drinking now. This is too much. So at 7:30, Parsons looks at his watch, bleary-eyed, and he goes, "It's about a good time to go see my ex-wife and then drop the shit off, right?" I don't know if she had to work till then or what, but he's like, "I'm about ready to do it. What'd you think?"
"I think I'm drunk enough to go on over."
"I think let's do it." Yeah. So the five of them drive over to his ex-wife Kathy's trailer, obviously.
Probably in a single cab pickup truck.
I'm sure. Two guys in the back. Yeah. It's Mad Max, like we said. There's one guy back with like a
holding on to the roll bar.
Just a big bullet thing on across his chest, a Rambo bullet
no
thing.
Shells in it.
No. It's just a strap.
Just looks cool, man.
It looks fucking awesome.
It's made of leather.
There's like 3 shells in the whole thing. Spaced him out so he looks more important.
That's all I got left.
That's what I got.
I went on a turkey hunt.
Yeah, shot a lot of them. So there. Now, you want it to get even more West Virginia,
Can't
more
wait.
fucking crazy? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Kenny and Kathy, they're divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But you don't think they don't still live together in the same trailer in the Sand Lick Trailer Park in what county, West Virginia? Boone County, West Virginia, baby. This is the whites. This is where the whites are from.
Unreal.
This is a white fucking story here. It absolutely is. I don't know if I got to check. He might be related to them somewhere.
Probably.
They seem to be all related. I don't know. I don't know how big Boone County is, but I do know that if you shake the pills, that's the mating
They
call.
show up. Yeah.
So, yeah. So they still, even though they are legally divorced, so they didn't just break up. They're legally divorced, paperwork's been done, they still live together in the same single wide trailer at the Sand Lick Trailer Park.
Jesus.
But he has money to buy guns and
he
fucking furniture.
He is killing it.
So he shows up.
Yeah.
Shit-faced. With 4 other dudes and a stereo and 4 chairs.
I got you, baby.
And he says, "I bought you some gifts.
Yeah.
Darling.
Yeah.
Come on over here. You're going to like don't mind all the guys I brought with you. They're just drinking in the driveway.
Do some stretches so you can lift this shit. I'm drunk."
Yeah. I'm out. None of us can carry it now. He said, but, bought you some gifts. She told him, "I don't want that shit. I don't need a stereo and 4 kitchen chairs. Why the fuck did you bring that to me, you drunk asshole?"
Doesn't even match the table.
That's the thing. This wasn't like a thing that she has been needing.
Right.
I could see if she's got no chairs on the table and she said she'd really like to listen to music. She doesn't need any of these things and doesn't want them. And she's like, "Why did you bring me these, stupid?"
Awesome.
So they start to argue at this point.
Yeah, as they do.
Obviously, it's just a cacophony of sound coming from the inside of this tin trailer.
Right.
So Paul, Kirk, Thomas, and Atkins start to unload the truck. They're like, "I guess we'll just put the stuff in the driveway.
May as well.
Because we're probably going to have to make a getaway when they start arguing." So once they unload the truck, they just leave.
Yeah.
They're like, "Fuck it. He's home. Right. He lives here." Robert Kirk was asleep in the truck. He didn't know any of this shit was going on. He passed out. He's been drinking for 12 hours.
Right.
So this is what happens. Day drinking causes this.
It's been a long day.
It's been a while. So at this moment, what Kenneth does is, I don't know why, I guess the argument had died down, I suppose, because at some point he showed her the gun, took it out of his boot, and told her, "I'm going to shoot Terry Thomas."
Oh, boy.
She then called him a chicken. "You ain't going to shoot Terry Thomas, you chicken."
Yeah.
So, and I don't want your goddamn kitchen chairs.
Chicken.
They live together. Maybe don't live together when you're divorced.
Yeah, and why is a Back to the Future insult?
It's 1985.
Yeah.
It's literally
it really
the year
is.
Back to the Future came out.
Calling
She
him
probably
a chicken.
just saw Back to the Future.
What are you, chicken?
Or Robert Zemeckis just read the story. One of the two. So she called him a chicken, "You chicken," which he said made him feel, quote, "an inch tall."
Yeah.
Just an inch tall.
That's what happened to Biff, too.
Calling me a chicken. It'll really ruin you. Marty was not to be called a chicken.
Yeah.
Would you call me?
What are you, chicken?
Not taking it. Yeah, he'll snap. He'll snap, buddy.
What does that even mean?
It's the stupidest insult ever.
Did are chickens just not? They're cowardly.
I mean,
the cowardly chicken.
If you go
is
like,
that a thing?
They run away.
I guess.
I guess, but no more than other animals. You ever seen a deer?
Yeah. Yeah. They haul balls.
They run 3 miles
when you're a block away.
Yeah. You're talking about
what? Are you, an elk?
Those turkeys by my house in New York. That's the fucking. You walk outside, they're all the way. They start running in the woods like crazy. Oh, man.
What are you, pigeon?
What are you, pigeon? Huh? What are you? What are you?
You fucking finch.
You raccoon? That's what you are. You're just a little raccoon with your little eye things and you're climbing in my garbage. That's
you ever tapped on a fish tank? Those things haul balls.
They're all sorts of skittish.
What are you, trout?
What are you, tetra? So she called him a chicken, which made him feel an inch tall.
Right.
So what do you do when someone calls you a chicken? Luckily, Marty McFly didn't have a .32 caliber pistol in his boot, like Kenneth Parsons here.
Right.
He pulls his gun out of his boot.
Oh my!
And aims it at Kathy.
At Kathy,
at his wife.
Yeah.
Dare you call me chicken?
I'm not chicken. I'm drunk.
Yeah. So she said, "Well, you are a chicken," and he shot her in the nose.
Oh my God!
He pulled the trigger, shot her right in the nose.
Wow.
He said that he didn't think the gun was loaded. He said, "Oh, shit, Kathy, I didn't think the gun was loaded." Literally went over there.
Except for the part when I put him in there.
Yeah. Kathy's taken to the hospital. Yeah. She dies several days later.
Wow.
She survived for a few days and then dies.
Stunning. Shot her right in the face.
Right in the nose.
Wow.
Her, killed her. So the first officer to arrive at the scene was Deputy Sheriff Mark Parsons. Mm-hmm. No relation, just everyone's named Parsons here because why not? It's West Virginia, so obviously I'm sure there's no relation, my ass.
Right.
Deputy Parsons drove up and could see someone lying in the open front door of the trailer and, quote, a second individual standing over the body.
Yeah.
Bad sign. Deputy Parsons yelled, quote, "Hey, Kenny, let me talk to you a minute. How about freeze, you're over a corpse. Move away from the corpse, please. I heard gunshots were fired."
Yeah. Or, sir, please lay down while I get that person medical attention.
Wow. Kenny, can I talk to you for a minute? Let me talk to you for a minute. Kenny responded, quote, "Come and help my wife. Then we'll talk about it." So they conversed briefly.
A drunk man is telling him how to do his job.
Yeah.
The correct way.
He's right. That's the thing.
He's correcting it.
So yeah, let's talk about it after you try to stop the bleeding, the massive bleeding from her chest cavity. If you could do that for me, please. Then we'll talk about from her facial area.
Don't you remember the first day they told medical attention? Come here.
Come on, shot my wife in the face. Come here.
Sure, I'll talk. Come on over.
So come help my wife. Now, they talk for a second, and I guess they're waiting for, I think he called for an ambulance, I would assume, but he's not really doing anything as far as medical attention goes here, this Deputy Parsons and Kenny Parsons. They talk for a minute. Eventually, Kenny finally walks off the front porch toward the police cruiser. It's at that point that Deputy Parsons handcuffs him, places him in the cruiser, reads him his Miranda rights. Yeah. While waiting in the car, Kenny Parsons told Deputy Parsons that, quote, "If you took off the handcuffs and gave me a cigarette, I'll show you where I hid the gun."
Oh, boy.
Which is good evidence. You would do that if someone says that. You don't uncuff them, but you might stick a cigarette in their mouth.
Yeah.
He uncuffs him and gives him a cigarette in the car.
All right.
There you go.
Sounds like a good deal to me.
I mean, sure. I'm sure it ain't anywhere where you could reach it with your bare hands and grab it and kill me with it.
Right.
So then he leads him into the house. He lets this guy uncuffed walk into the house over the body of his wife
to get a gun.
Good. This is great.
He's gonna hand it to him.
He's a great cop. This guy, you can tell already. He is a fucking top-notch law officer right here. Wow. Let him into the back bedroom, lifted the mattress on the bed, and retrieved the gun and handed it to the cop.
Wow.
The fucking cop let him pick the fucking gun out and hand it to him.
He is David Arquette in Scream.
Wow. Oh, I thought it was who's the
or anything in David Arquette's
anything
life
that he ever did. I thought you meant was he a cop in Lake Placid too?
I didn't see that one.
Really?
Is that the one with the shark in a freshwater
Betty
bottle
White
of water?
And the shark. And
that
all.
sounds
It's a
dumb.
stupid movie. It's dumb as shit.
That sounds ridiculous.
It's about
it's a gator, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a complete farce. It's bullshit. It's ridiculous.
It's a murderous animal in a freshwater lake.
It's not supposed to be serious.
Okay.
It's a bad movie.
It's a dumb movie.
It's like, we made a bad movie. Wink. It's like Sharknado before Sharknado.
Yeah.
But
Sharknado minus.
trying to not make it so obvious.
Right.
And Betty White's in it, so whatever. But it sucks. Anyway, so
Okay.
while in the car,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they get back to the car with the gun now.
Yeah.
They drive him to jail. On the way, Deputy Parsons reads him his rights again.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes of their arrival at jail, Deputy Parsons reads him his rights again, which the time, this now he's been read 3 times, everywhere he's at, house, car, office, all Mirandized. Kenny says, I'm going to give you a statement.
Okay.
I got something to say.
Yeah.
He says, all right, well, what do you got, Kenny? And Kenny says, well, I can explain everything.
Yeah.
Obviously. And he said, well, we're all ears. And he said, what happened was I killed my ex-wife because she was fucking around and the guy wasn't there, so I shot her. It was an accident.
Yeah.
I thought the gun wasn't loaded, but that's why I bought the gun.
Right.
To shoot that guy. And obviously, I didn't do that, so clearly it was an accident.
Yeah.
If I'd shot him, I would have said it was on purpose, but I didn't.
Did I mention she called me chicken?
She did say chicken, and they went, ooh, and they wrote that down. They were like, he's got a point. I mean, chicken is chicken.
Yeah.
So at the trial, I shot my ex-wife. Okay. His only defense was not that it was an accident. I was insane at the time of the shooting.
Oh, my.
I was insane and not criminally responsible for my actions. The jury disagreed and found him guilty of second-degree murder by use of a firearm.
Chicken defense doesn't work.
Obviously, yeah. Now, in his appeal, he challenges the court's findings that he was capable of intelligently waiving his Miranda rights before his statement. He argues that he's unable to intelligently waive his Miranda rights because of his, quote, borderline intelligence, and because he suffers from frontal lobe damage caused by a serious injury to his head. Would you like to know how that serious injury to his head was caused?
He has CTE, he's claiming, and there is an injury.
It's the most...
I am riveted.
It's the most West Virginia way to have frontal lobe damage.
Did he fall off a tractor?
In the history... No. Very specific. In 1982, 3 years earlier, he's involved in a fight in which he was hit on top of the head with, what do you think? A piece of coal. That's the most West Virginia fight ever. Someone used coal as a weapon. I've never heard of that before.
Causing frontal lobe damage.
Have you ever heard of it? He hit me with a piece of coal. Have you ever been hit with a piece of coal before?
Never.
He sustained a severe head injury, which left him comatose for 7 days.
Comatose.
Yeah, exactly. Comatose. And required him to be hospitalized for a month.
Holy
From
shit.
coal. Holy shit.
I didn't know it was that hard.
Me neither. Fuck, man. He says that the law's confessions elicited by law enforcement authorities from persons suspected of crimes who, because of mental condition, cannot knowledgeably and intelligently waive their right to counsel are inadmissible.
Okay.
Whereas a person of less than normal intelligence does not have the capacity to understand the meaning and effect of his confession, and the lack of capacity is shown by evidence at the suppression hearing. He's trying to do this. Okay. Now, what he does here, he brings in some psychiatrists. At the suppression hearing, to suppress his whole thing, he brings in the testimony of Dr. Robert Martin, a psychologist and director of the Shawnee Hills Mental Health Program for Boone County.
Okay.
Dr. Martin testifies that Parsons' IQ is about 75.
Oh, boy.
So just above Gump, we're talking. Just slightly above Gump. And he described him as someone with, quote, borderline intelligence. So, I mean, he's not slow, but he's not the quickest either out there. So he explained that individuals of borderline intelligence are not mentally, deficient or anything. They're able to live independently, can be self-employed. He's 75 IQ. Go to a Walmart. You're going to find about half 75 IQs walking around. When somebody's standing there drooling, not getting out of your fucking way in an aisle. 75 IQ. So,
looking at two things that are very similar, different brands, trying to figure out the amount that's different.
Yeah, what does that mean?
What's the difference?
Shit, a quart or a
$79.
Jesus, this is a pain in my ass.
$82.
So, He's able to live independently and can be employed. Dr. Martin also testified that he was suffering from, Parsons was, not the doctor, from a mixed organic brain syndrome as a result of the serious blow he got in 1982.
Yeah.
When asked whether he could understand his Miranda rights, Dr. Martin said, quote, I think if they were explained to him carefully and he listened carefully and he was functioning at a reasonably normal level for him, in other words, not intoxicated and so on, then he could probably understand them. Right. Although, obviously, there was evidence he'd been drinking all day, there's no evidence introduced that he was intoxicated when he waived his rights and gave the statement. Because he waived it several times, but at the station later, that's like 2 hours later, it's a little more sober, you know what I mean? So what they did is they show the doctor a copy of his statement to say, does this sound like someone whose brain is working enough to waive their Miranda rights? And Dr. Martin felt that the statement was coherent and indicated that he remembered the events of the day and was clearly not having a bad day.
It's fine.
And fine.
Apart from killing his wife.
Apart from the fact that he killed his wife, because he's a crazy fuck. I know I'm not supposed to say that I'm a doctor, but like, I mean, really,
he's certainly got some
things
little
fucking,
yeah,
it's a little fucking bonjour. Right. I'm just going to tell you. So,
he gets smacked with coal.
Who's used to that? So the state presents a testimony of the arresting officer who testified that he was read his Miranda rights 3 times. The third reading was 1 sentence at a time.
Okay.
After each sentence, the deputy Parsons asked him if he understood what had just been read. That's what they all do in a interview room. If you watch an interrogation, they sit down, they go over the rights one at a time with them like that. So each time he responded affirmatively and initialed each line as evidenced, and then he said what he did. Deputy Parsons also said that he was cautious in transcribing the statement. He said he asked him a question and recorded his response verbatim. After completing each page of the statement, Deputy Parsons read the page back to him and asked him if he agreed with what he just read, and he made necessary corrections and then signed each page of the statement. So that seems pretty decent there. There's trial shrinks in here saying borderline intelligence. They said one shrink here, Dr. David Clayman, when asked whether the appellant was later on, Parsons was unable to control his behavior and refrain from using the gun, Dr. Clayman stated it was possible but not likely.
Oh boy!
So he can't control himself. He said he explained why he felt it was only possible and not likely that he was insane at the time of the shooting. He said crimes of passion are not predictable. But the only place where it becomes likely rather than possible is if you have someone who's committed repetitive hostile acts. And they said he doesn't have a history of violent behavior there. Family and neighbors, according to the testimony, they said that he always feels like everyone's against him. He would often become angry for no reason and very often drinks alcohol to excess. Yeah. So he's unstable, angry, and drunk. Those are perfect.
In a constant state of concussed.
In a constant state of concussion, and he feels like everyone's against him.
Yeah.
He's one of those, and he's a victim. So a neighbor of his said that she had known him all his life and has been his neighbor for 2 years preceding the shooting. She said, quote, I feel like he wasn't an insane person. I feel like he would become irrational when he would drink. That sounds as a lot of people do. And when they would have arguments, they argued a lot. But I do feel like he had the mentality to know right from wrong. And the court agrees, and they say, fuck off, Kenny Parsons, and they send him to prison for life as well.
Life without.
He gets life with mercy. So who knows? He could be walking around right now. Either way.
Yeah.
If he is, we don't know about it because he's in a town with no census, so I'll never find him. He's in a holler somewhere.
Holy shit.
Crazy shit. But that, everybody, is episode 250. And West Virginia.
Boy, oh boy.
We're talking Sand Lick, West Virginia. We're talking Dingess, West Virginia.
Goddamn Bones fucking
Boone County. We got Dingess in Mingo County, and then we visited where the whites are from. That's episode 250, baby. That's small town murder right there. So thank you, everyone, by the way, for hanging with us for 250 episodes. We really, really do appreciate it a ton. Yeah. And also thank you for everyone that came out to live shows.
Wow, man.
This past weekend. fucking amazing. We really enjoyed them. We were in San Diego and in Brea, and the crowds were so good, so supportive and awesome, and we laughed our asses off with everybody. Had a great time. Absolutely. Don't forget, if you're listening to this week when it comes out, this weekend we're in Tempe. Those are sold out. But next month we are in Seattle and Portland. There are some tickets left for both Seattle shows. So you can get tickets to both of those, and check Brooklyn and Boston just to make sure if people, because the shows were delayed, people can return them if they can't make them. So like what happened in San Diego, we had a few tickets at the end that were open, and people that wanted those tickets didn't even know they could get them. So we had people that wanted to come that couldn't come, and empty seats. It was fucking ridiculous. So don't do that. If you have tickets and you're not going to go, fucking return them now so someone else can buy them. Don't leave us empty seats, please. That's what we're asking to do. Otherwise, check shutupandgivememurder.com for all of that right now. And do that. Thank you for everybody that's done that. We can't wait to see you there. And shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get all of your tickets and all of your merchandise and all of the good stuff.
And these it's so great. Seeing you guys again is fucking fantastic.
The energy, really it's revitalized us just because it feels so good to get that energy back again. We're live performers, we're comedians, so it's really weird to not have that. It's just strange. We need it. So as creepy as that sounds, we need some love. Damn it. So do that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. If you're waiting to sign up and you've been looking for the week, this is the week. Anybody $5 or above, you get access to everything, all of the all the crime and sports bonuses, all the small town murder bonuses. And this week you're definitely going to want to hear both, because crime and sports' episode is the flagship international sports television, which is just a giant sting operation offering football tickets to top wanted felons for violent crimes.
It's awesome.
They set up a huge party and gather all these people together and bust them all at once while a man's wearing a tuxedo and a top hat. It's the craziest thing. There are murderers carrying balloons yelling, "I'm a double winner." It's amazing, and you can hear Jimmy laugh hysterically for an entire straight hour.
Most fun hour I've ever had.
It's amazing. That episode. Then for Small Town Murders, we have something just as goddamn good, the Crappy Real Estate Report, where it's just an hour plus of terrible houses and us making fun of them and going, what the fuck do you do with that?
Why do people want that?
How much that one house with the cat food?
Oh,
how many cans of 9 Lives? You have to hear this just to hear the amount of cans of 9 Lives that are in a house. It's unfucking real. Check all that out. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you'll get a shout out at the end of the show, which we're going to do in just a moment, because God damn it, we appreciate you. If you just want the shout out, you can go over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. If you want to follow the show, very easy to do it. First of all, you can message us at crimeandsports@gmail.com. You can follow us at Murder Small on Twitter, at SmallTownPod on Facebook, and at SmallTownMurder on Instagram. That said, God damn it,
oh,
Jimmy.
Boy.
Please hit me with the list of people who are zero. There's 0 dinguses on our list. Hit me with the list of no dingus, baby. Let's do it right now.
This week's executive producers are Cameron Miles. You're my personal hero this way, by the way. Thank you, Cameron. That was very, very nice of you.
Awesome.
Ann Leskinen, Jordan Bennett, obviously, or Under the Sea Fabrics.
Great to see you, Jordan.
And Under the Sea Fabrics is back. She took a break for a minute, and she's back. Thank you. Amanda Hugginkiss, I doubt it. Connor Briggs, Tommy Cardenas, Marvin Freeman, and Karen Gates. Thank you guys. Truly, the amount of support you guys give is really can't be overstated. It's certainly always understated.
Yeah, it's always understated.
Other producers this week are Amy Wright, George Farmer, told about the show by Jade Daniels. Thanks, Jade.
Well, thank you.
Big Nick in Vermeter, Iowa. Chris Clark, he's an Army vet in Middletown, Ohio. And Amy Spicer helped drive Jordan and Lonnie from the airport at the shows.
Well, thank you.
Weekend.
Nice to see Amy, too.
Nice. And Larry Butterfast, great to see you, buddy.
That
was fucking
meet him.
Absolutely
meet
awesome.
Him, meeting Royce.
Royce is the best, man.
We had a great time.
Incredible time.
Yeah.
Other producers also are Thomas DeMello checking in from Paraguay, Rosa Martinez, Jess Finch, Carl Kirshner, Jennifer Ward, Liz Vasquez, Peyton Meadow, Jess Campanello, Chad Nordstrom, Allison Heimer, Aaron Ashayik. I don't know.
I'll take it.
Amanda Jacobs, Gary Friedman. Thank you always, Gary. Peter Schmuck, Maria Wiederker. Daniel Kaufman, happy birthday, buddy. Jennifer Visconti, Rabbi Shmulevich, and his pesky anal fishers, the poor bastard.
Oh, that poor guy.
Bill McClellan,
Just
Craig
itching and
Neal is a new dad. Congratulations. Michael Campbell, Kyle Painter's friend Tiff, happy birthday. No, I think it's Kylie Painter. Maybe it's just Kyle. Probably Kylie. Happy birthday, Tiff.
Happy birthday.
Janice Miller, Steve Poirier says nobody fucks with a Poirier. That was somebody from last year,
Katie,
right?
that was
Cherry and Terry Cunt. No, Tunt.
My God.
And their lawyer legality. It's not real names.
I know. I love it.
And I accidentally fucked it up anyway. Susanna Platt, Justin. Imagine if it was two people.
That'd be amazing.
Really named Tunt. Oh, boy. Kristen Purpura, Hugh Steffner, Justin not off. I said that. Matt Alter, Clintil Bean. No, I doubt it. Gary with no last name. Christina Shaw, Anita Gilmore, the one Mormon furry. Okay. Boy, oh boy.
More than one.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
Is repressed. All right. Rebecca Seeger, Timothy Hammond, Diane Booth, Stacy Ekstrom, Adam Shelton, probably Blake's kid. Kelly Moorhead, Tree with no last name. Abigail Iverson, Kayla Alvarez, Christian Navarrete, Jessica Westmoreland, Adela Watson, Jake Scott, Haley Hickson, Matthew Sovine, Jason Adams, Jessica Zick.
Yeah.
That one's never going to happen. Abby King, Tanya LeBlanc, Jeremy McMillan, Jordan Wallace, Jordan Boyle, Pamela Durr, Ania Hyman, oh boy, Daniel Durbin, Alex Lackey, Samantha Lindberg, Karen Fury. Oh, that's like an ultimate Karen.
The Fury. Karen's furious.
Karen Fury. Ava Stockton, that's what all those videos should be called.
Yeah, Karen Fury.
Alex with no last name, Caden Hendricks, Perry Pickard, Matt Holton, Benaha, Phoenix Kazi, Kyle Hale, Ava Lennon, Vernisha, what? Lackey? Vernisha? Well, yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. Nick with no last name, Jacob Lewis, Charles Kennedy, Sean Averill, Christine Cantrell, Todd and Tara Froween, Alexis Crossman, Jareth Burgos, Rebecca Wyckoff, that's brutal, Mark Torr, JP Jean-Pierre, John Hillman, Will Bennett, Adam Grinnan, Tammy with no last name, Justin Askew, Grace Manson, Bradley Fontana, Sam Wilcox, Kevin Moriarty, Victoria Sterling, Aaron Martell, Martin O'Dwyer, Kyle Myers, and what is this? Of Uvolve Inc. and Resources Sports. What? I don't know what that is. Shay Renison, James Ross, Patrick Wickham, Zane Tackett, Jocelyn Smith Mosier, Jennifer Mullen, Trent Reichs, Chris with no last name, Jordan Tripp, Kelly Gillespie. She's an amazing artist. Tyler Stenerson, Brian Manier, Trick Abyss. Oh, boy. Jessica Booth, Carrie Slater, Brandon Laux, Aubrey Lilies, Lyles, Patrick Fallon, Keenan McCaskill, Steph Ann Dennis, Sonia Cloud, Christina Murdoch, Dominic Morrissey, Hadley Warner, Jason R., Tyler Jenkins, Stephen Greer, Daniel Vogelsong, Randy Petkovitz.
Wow. Nice job.
Carol Otto, Travis Lalonde, Erica with no last name, Brian Lachaco, Chris with no last name, James Bolduke, Demon Ghoul 33, Rosemary Segasture Sailor, never gonna happen, Sharon Homer, Tom with no last name, John Smith, Lakeisha Ryan, Stuart Grimaldo, Holly Tyler, Jessica Reed, Kirk Worm, Grayson Osban, Alexis Van Sky, Lisa Davis, Victoria Rhodes, Anthony with no last name, Janae Beth, Moosh McKenzie, Carlos Garcia, Adam Harrison, Jackson Wiley, Ellie with no last name, Kayla with no last name, Justin Marshall, Ron Ellman, Dustin Killebrew, Grace Markley, Megan Bashaw, Shell Marach, Carrion, Hayes Oswald, Amy Daniel, Ashley Payne, Amy Mitzel, Taylor Jones, Gina Baker, Lori Young, Sarah Blissick, Tyler, oh boy, Teresa France, Matthew Gibbets, Matthew Green, Kyle Hackman, Megan Krug, Charlene Crutcher, Annie Hudson, Boyd McCamish, Jeffrey Reed, Sarah Dryman, Taylor Phillips, Deline McBee, Jay Zenzer, Jordan W., Michael Basinger, Poop Wall, Theo Calagridis, Lauren Sheena, and Riley Sadler, Kaylee Toth, Sam Wiggins, The Wade, Jerry Davenport, that's Alan. Alan Paulowik.
Okay.
Oh boy, Jared McMillan. I think it. No, I didn't. Josh Kamrar, Kashmir G. Brian Randolph, Joseph Brazina, Star Bright with no last name.
Branzino?
Brazina.
Oh, okay.
Josh Farrell, Christian with just an N. Chris Hamby, Jen Lucas, Daniel with no last name. Val Perry, Raystel Walker, Megan Dyer. Kelly Catalano, Rob Atkins, Aaron Questel, Sean Williamson, Alex Barnes, Michaela Helmick, Jessica Horton, Ravikas, Ricky Bra 719, Cassandra Keller, Trisha Fitanto, sorry Trisha, Alex Ratchell, Kelly Jerem Myrick, Katie with no last name, Jasmine DePaulo, Scott Barnes, Gareth Locke. Oh, that guy's fantastic. He's on Twitter. Kendall Busby, Will, you bend me over. Okay, you happy now? Chris Apple, Emily Teague, Troy Riffle, Michael Williams, probably not. Rest in peace, fucking Omar. Matt Brownell, Peter Gibson, Edward Luther, Tatum Smith, Maribel Navarro, Carl Johansson, Adrian Robbins, and Amanda Hardy Clay, and all of our patrons, obvious. You guys
Thank you
are
so much.
Fucking unbelievable, and you make this so viable and so much fun. I can't thank you enough.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for everything that you do. Honestly, thank you. Thank you so much for coming out to live shows, for doing the Patreon, for supporting us, and we just thank you so much. And Jimmy, what if they wanted to get a hold of you?
Yeah.
And thank you. How
you
can they
can
do
find me on the internet. This show's been long enough. No more need for me to babble on. What
Do
about
it.
you?
Well, you can find us. Just Google us, the show, and we'll pop up. You can find us. It's not hard to find people nowadays, but keep finding us every single week for another 250 episodes.
Can't wait.
God damn it, because we'll be doing them.
You bet.
So keep them coming. Keep hanging with us. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus